Hello,
Hello.
hello,
Oh, all good.
hello. That's me used to doing intros as a normal play-by-play caster for these events. Go ahead, Avalanche. Give us a small intro. Sorry, my fault. It's been a while.
Now we're all good here. We are here for Kitsune League Season 5, Middle Division Grand Finals between Muni's Delivery Service and LeDucks Eternal. Two teams that are looking very strong in this bracket, obviously, to get through to the final, but LeDucks Eternal going to want a little bit of revenge here, Jace.
Yeah, absolutely. It's middle division grand finals in the Kitsune League, so we all know what that means. It's a Moon team with Nepo drafts from 1 to 6, and it's a LeDucks team. This is the matchup that we've all been waiting for, as in we've all been waiting because it'll happen eventually, but like not before the other good matches. Anyway, we got a bunch of talent on display for both of these teams. Muni's Delivery Service made some good trades throughout the season to acquire some Floridians. Turns out they're very, no, I can't say they're very easily trafficked. That's a crazy statement,
That's
nonetheless.
mental.
Listen, they want to leave Florida, okay? Get them out of there.
I
LeDuc's,
would not blame anyone for that, I'll be honest, but
uh, LeDuc's Eternal, names old and new. Look out for Hagishi on their side. They're new this season, I think, and absolutely frying. They've been a huge driving back. They've been a huge driving force and the backbone for LeDuc's Eternal's run throughout the upper bracket.
yeah, well, speaking of this player in particular, yeah, you can see the team history, not too many events. In fact, the Snowdown Summit, the first for this player, and Echo is a favored hero, but potential to see a lot of different things in a meta that is really livening up at the moment. But you mentioned the runs through the upper bracket, and we'll be able to see the bracket in just a second, see how these two teams have gotten here in the first place. Mini's Delivery Service coming in, being able to get through all the way through that upper bracket, taking down LeDucks Eternal in that upper finals. So LeDucks
Yes.
Eternal are going to be wanting some revenge, but they were able to take down AR Death Blossom twice throughout their way through to make it back to this grand finals once in the upper bracket for LeDucks Eternal, and then after beating the Legion of Boop and being knocked down by Muni's Delivery Service into the lower finals, able to rebound back up and get through to Grands.
Yeah, normally you see this kind of run from like a first or second seed, but it didn't happen. Um, for It didn't happen for Muni's Delivery Service. This is our third and fourth seed, from one of the groups into grand finals after both of them had quite a middling regular season, to be honest. So I'm interested to see what happens. Normally in the upper finals, it's like, okay, if you're winning that comfortably, you should be able to do it. But sometimes all these teams need is just a second crack of the whip. Like if you see third and fourth, how close it is, it literally can just be which team is able to turn up. Sometimes you have an off day and you get a second bite of the cherry, and there you go. But yeah, here are 8 teams in middle division. It is only one group. It's lower league that had 2. Wonderplane and Legion of Boop, where are you? Frauds? Maybe. That's a discussion for a future tier list.
Death Blossom getting through from number 7 to get through to that lower bracket final as well. Quite a crazy run, but that is what some of these teams need. They need a competitive environment instead of that Swiss phase, instead of those groups.
Yeah.
You need to be going into the competitiveness of these upper and lower brackets to really get your blood pumping and get you going. But LeDucks Eternal being able to make it back up here. It is going to be Muni Delivery Service having the first pick, though, and that comes with being that higher seed, staying in that upper bracket throughout the entire time.
Yeah, so this SR range for everyone that is similar as well is around about mid Masters SR, mid to high Masters SR, I believe might be a little bit lower than that. Avalanche, from your experience casting outside of the enclosed space that is BPL KL, it is very much an enclosed space. Metas here get a bit warped, they get a bit wacky, and they get a bit weird. So in your over the pond adventures back in the great land of the UK and EU, what have you been seeing at this level, if you've covered it recently, that you like in terms of hero picks, strategy, map picks, etc., that you will expect to see here in this lobby?
There's a lot of different situations, and I'd say at Masters level, you just want to go what you're comfortable with. Some players can
Yeah.
play the meta to a high level, but if you're not able to, if you can hit a higher standard with someone that you're comfortable with, instead of trying to force yourself to play the meta and not really being in a situation to favor yourself off the back of it, just go for what you know. Go for what you think you want to go with. I mean, poke not having the best of times at the moment in comparison to some of the dive and brawl comps, but I've seen it work out in some situations, and in others it's completely run over. But that's because they're trying to play poke because they think it's meta, and it's just not working for them. You can see the hero flexibility isn't quite there to be able to play it, but as well, a lot of this will come with the comfort of these maps as well, and it is going to be what a surprise we're going to Lijiang Tower first.
Here we go. If I had a singular euro for every time Lijiang Tower was picked throughout the 171 matches I've now cast, recorded on Solomon.gg, I would have 150 quid probably. That would be a lot of money nonetheless. Lijiang Tower, it's a classic. Both teams will have sim strategies. They'll have maybe some ball picks. They'll have hazard-based sort of brawl hybrids. We're going to see the whole shebang and a real look at, as you said, um, the idea of comfort in this elo is both the correct answer, Avalanche, but it's also like the half cop out, right? Because you're like, okay, if you don't know what either of the teams are going to play, you just say they should play comfort. But also, it is absolutely correct. We are going to see on this map these teams plan A. When it doesn't work, do they have a plan B? And it looks like by the last time that Muni's delivery service were able to quickly shut down plan A and potentially even keep them off plan B, because an upper finals 3-1 is a pretty strong performance. So let's see if the Muni's delivery service can, come good kid and deliver the parcel, fly all the way on that broom, and hit that jackpot and rightfully claim their place at the top.
Absolutely. And I think the other thing as well is that you have some scouting on this team. It's not as if you've come in, you haven't played them, you'll have played them a significant amount of times now, having knocked them down to the lower bracket as well. You know exactly what they want to run in this meta. We've had a switch up of a few things recently, but not long enough between that that upper bracket final and now to be able to determine whether there's too much of a difference. Yes, there's been a few switches up. We've seen the jetpack cat appear in some compositions, and I mean, my word, if someone brings it out today, I'm not going to be ready for it, but we'll
The
see what they
jetpack,
decide to do with it.
yeah,
But that's something that can absolutely come out if you really want to try and make it work, and it can throw a spanner in the works as well. If you've played Plan A, Plan B, all the way through to like Plan E on LeDucks Eternal, throw in Plan F, throw in Plan JPK, throw in the Jetpack Cat, see what works, see what sticks.
true.
And if you're gonna make them work for it, you've got to be doing stuff that's a little bit unpredictable sometimes.
Never let them know your next move, type shit for real, as they say.
If you
Yeah.
don't know
So
what you're
I've
running,
been
then they're not gonna know
exactly,
what you're running either.
man. I've been gone from uh Overwatch casting in quite a while, but in terms of generally like having my brain attuned to the game in general, it's been since like probably it would have been after SPCS, so it would have been like early November. I think early to mid November. So it's been like half a year, and I've gone through the whole cycle. Like we've had 6 new heroes since then, some of which have been buffed and nerfed. And like Vendetta, I was sort of just at the back end of like Vendetta being ridiculously obnoxious, and she's now been nerfed and then buffed again. So it's
Yeah,
a
I mean,
whole
she
cycle.
she was up and down into the ground, but she was a very easy player to get or character to get some value off of, as we see regular season into playoffs for Muni's delivery service, playing against the same team and losing out, but being able to take that win over the first seed, making it through to that upper finals, playing against LeDucks Eternal, seeing it through. And on the other side, you can see a bit of a longer run for LeDucks Eternal, coming in off of a loss in that last round of the regular season, but able to turn it up for the playoffs, get that revenge. Not quite find it against Muni's delivery service, but once again, going to be looking for some revenge before we head into this game.
Yeah.
And LeDucks Eternal, I mean, you've got to be hungry for this in this situation.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just see based on the graphic alone how many more games LeDucks have played. They played 3 whole series against, I believe that's AR Death Blossom M's team, which is not something you see. I mean, Muni's delivery service have also, both of these teams have played each other 3 times now with the grand finals. So that's funny if you look at LeDucks' recent games because they played Legion of Poop twice, they played Death Blossom 3 times, and they've played Muni's delivery service 3 times. So it's like the same 4 teams playing each other all season, which makes sense in an 8-team league, right? Because obviously you kick 2 out for playoffs. But nonetheless, um, you get a lot of
Like
practice.
the
You
same
become more
3 teams
familiar.
last 6 matches.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah, it's funny. Well, it's only an 8-team league, right? As I said, so that is naturally going to happen as you get towards the back end of the bracket. But yeah, it's funny to see so many grudge matches because it really shows which team is doing its homework, which team is doing its prep. You can see the difference from the week 3 game to the upper finals, right? Muni's delivery service versus LeDucks Eternal. It ended up 3-2 to LeDucks, and then they go down 3-1 in the upper finals. So, those sort of, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in between going on to the 7th. Big time for Muni's delivery service to grow.
Absolutely. And growing into the series is exactly what you want. In this situation, you get into that tournament of the bracket, and things can just change, especially with metas changing over the course of a season as well. Going from season 1 of Overwatch, no 2 anymore, once again, into
We're
season
3.
2. And I mean, when's Overwatch 4 coming out at this point? I have no idea, but you have switches up in the meta. We have Ramatra coming back in. Zarya has been a mainstay for quite a while to be able to bubble in some of those more bursty compositions.
Mobile. Yeah, the mobile flex DPS, the Zarya Vendetta, right, was definitely um, a huge thing
Yeah, we're seeing the Reaper
in
come
the
back
meta so
in to supplement the Vendetta coming out of favor, and even some Venture as
far.
well, if you want to go for it. Diva's still a stalwart as well, but Ramatra getting
Yeah,
back up there, and we've even seen Wrecking Ball and some Malga in play. The tank situation is quite a mix up at the moment, so there's a lot of things that you can play there. Can't say the same for the support line unless you are going to try and play that Jetpack Cat Bastion. It is probably most likely, unless you really favor something else, that you are going to go and play that Kiri Lucio
yeah.
that has been everywhere since the 2 was added in the first place.
Yeah, I'm just checking with our producer and everything what the ETA on GameStar is because it's been a little bit of a delay, which is fine. So obviously people had to warm up and get into lobby, but to avoid sort of talking through the whole narrative to death, because this is a first to 4, by the way, so we could potentially be in for a long series on top of this as well. It is esports though. This shit never starts on time.
Yeah,
So let's
they're really
see
thinking this
what
ban out. They're really thinking this ban out.
waiting for LeDucks ban. Bro, we gotta get a shot lock on these bans, by the way. Like, I understand that banning is like super important, but like we gotta get a shot lock on it. Like, listen, I'm gonna be honest, like I wouldn't be able to do it maybe as much anymore, but after you've played these guys like 2 or 3 times, there you go.
There we
Zarya
go.
ban. But yeah, you should have enough brain after playing them twice already to know roughly what are your top priorities in terms of bans.
Yeah,
Oh, is it Diva? Is
exactly.
it Diva? Is it Diva ban or Zarya ban? Let's have a
I
look.
think I think they have banned the Zarya. I think this on screen is
It's
correct. The
Zarya, yeah.
Genji on the other side, coming in
Yeah.
here not knowing as much about the players, is that I'd assume that that's closer to a target ban for one of these players and taking it away for Lijiang Tower to start off and make sure that you can
Yeah.
get your foothold as a 1-0.
I'm not sure how good Hagashi's Genji is. I assume it's probably half decent considering their prowess on the other characters. They do have a flex DPS in the wings, Wisex, who is pretty much a Genji one trick. Not quite, but very heavily leans onto that Genji. Um, LeDucks Eternal obviously banning Zarya, feeling like it's a good counter to some of the characters that Inhagen plays. Who I believe is I think Silver Tolls is also one of their tanks as well. I need to remember the rotation for LeDucks. But they should be a banger, hopefully. Bit of a long time to go over the bans, but I guess in that way, LeDucks really deliberating which ban they can take. They've clearly got like a high priority list of 3 or 4, and it's just deciding, okay, what do we actually want to ban with that map in mind? Seeing Lijiang Tower and a Zarya ban is very, very telling though. They do not want to play the Russian Lady Mirror on this map where you've got so many corners and so much short sight line. Like Zarya's obviously beam. Her range isn't the best. The right clicks do give her more range than a lot of the other tanks. But really, Zarya is so good on corners on the Lijiang Tower. You can just walk up between bubbles and just beam people with 100 energy, and it allows you to win any tank trade. It can almost negate some of Zarya's worse matchups because the range of the map just allows you to beam people. In particular, I think Hazard isn't like the best matchup for Zarya because of how mobile the Hazard is and how well the wall is at sectioning people off. But when you have to walk into the Zarya as the Hazard, you can just have like half your block burnt. Otherwise, you're eating like 100 energy beams straight to the face as you're trying to stage, right? So let's see what we get. Dawes isn't particularly a fan of the Zarya anyway. Definitely more Diva pilled. Which I expect a ban to come out for later in the series. But LeDucks Eternal, they're going to be leaving their hit stand on the bench. Ronan not playing this game. We've got Not Ken and Twists, Doors, Empty and Mina, with Wisex and Hardishi, that double flex DPS combo, which has been oh so efficient on maps like Lijiang Tower in the past Avalanche. They've got Inharden, Dateable, and Arco. And unfortunately, Avalanche, as much as we try to stop it, a resident from Florida will be winning this grand finals. Both of these teams have got off Meridian.
It's unfortunate, but as the teams start to stage on this first sub point of Garden, just trying to feel each other out. Been a few days at least since they've played each other. Twist having to use that sidearm just to get healed back up, but already going down super low in Hagen. Just about able to stay alive, being forced back though, holding up those arms, making sure that you can stay alive in that Nemesis form. Not going to have the same situation now, but Dawes maybe looking to get a little bit too aggressive as now the rotate comes in towards the objective. Not Ken's going to try and do some damage to Wisex, but Wisex has just been able to shoot artillery from the skies, from the outside of this point, and immediately you can see it tell. Even though the Pharah goes down, the rest of the team able to capitalize on the damage. It's only Dawes left standing on the objective. Surely the Ramattra will fall eventually, and there we go.
Yeah, Dawes does a really good job to trade out here, but one thing LeDucks Eternal I think actually does well, as opposed to Muni's delivery service messing up, is they play the matchup quite well. Wisex knows that they can't be as aggressive when Twists is able to get into that sight line. Inharden loses basically all of their HP on that first trade. That first form rotation, fucking horrible for LeDucks Eternal. But they stabilize. The minute they get onto point, Inharden pulls out those fists, and they get a swinging. Now LeDucks have point control, and they can afford to chill out for a bit.
That barrage coming up, but the first ult on the board is going to be Hagashi with that pulse bomb and the annihilation there for Inhagen as well. Down so low, losing all of the armor, but just about able to stay alive and take down Mina in the process. Now the battle in the skies between Wisex able to take down the opposing Pharah from the air. The pulse bomb goes wide, but I don't think the LeDucks Eternal are going to worry about that too much as they have secured a second fight win. You can see Dawes just falling off the map there.
Yeah, and Wisex is one that they're definitely a mechanically strong player. Farah isn't something that they have had historically in their wheelhouse, but eventually on Chaos Theory we reminded him that it is just Air Junkrat, and Junkrat is one of his highest mastery heroes. But the confidence in the grand finals to go for that 1v1 and basically just ego Ken out of the lobby. They say, hey, you're not a tank, you're a tank player, you're on flex DPS, that's my role, get out of my lobby. And it's a huge solo kill because once that bird goes down, there's only one bird in the air, and it might as well be a Roxanne because that is a free bird.
Yeah, both Kitsune rushes now invested as they start to try and hurt onto the point. Twist gets himself, but Dawes is able to trade out onto the tank now. Both sound barriers invested as well. Hagashi trying to do so much, trying to get back to that pulse bomb, but Mina doesn't have the care now to be able to stay alive. Empty just rotating back away, and the kills are coming in for LeDucks Eternal. It's going to be a trade out by Dawes, but eventually that barrage is going to take him down. Not Ken able to trade it out, but once more it's this point picking up for LeDucks Eternal, and eventually when Hagen can come back down so low, just about able to take him down. They're still trying to fight for this objective, but it's already 99% for LeDucks Eternal. Empty trying to get onto the objective now. Twist switching over to this cast, trying to get something done here. They're still in control of the objective, LeDucks Eternal, but finally it seems like throwing bodies at the wall just to make sure that it can't happen is going to run out for them.
Ooh, Twist on the Cassidy, on the Gunslinger. That is a timeless character. Yeah, how many times have we seen Cass do that? And they needed to hit so many crucial shots, just demonstrating the absolute lethality and the TTK that Cassidy has on this map against this kind of hero pool. Body shot, headshot, and even with these buffed HP pools that we saw from almost the durability update a long time ago, Cass still has a pretty good TTK. God, this Farah Tracer duel is so interesting, by the way, that we're seeing. Ken is doing such a good job and really trying to put extra focus in keeping Hagashi at bay.
Yeah, now Wisex going down low, taken out by the opposing Farah. And with that High Noon invested, not going to find a kill, but eventually they're able to walk through this LeDucks Eternal team. It's not going to be a flip back for them right now, but as it approaches about 45%, you can still see these ultimates building on the other side, and a fair few of them getting close now for LeDucks Eternal.
Yeah, Farah on this map, by the way, is so swings and roundabouts, I think, Avalanche, because we saw Ken just get, like, kind of gapped in the 1v1, right? But the minute they get point control, the minute they get angle control, they're able to do so much. They run Wisex off the angle first fight, and now they're doing even more.
Well, everything in the kitchen sink has been invested, though, and actually able to find 2 quick kills, finding DPS and support the stick onto the D.Va mech as well. It's not going to be lasting long for Dawes. Empty's able to trade it out, but it might be too little, too late. Just the beat for Empty themselves trying to keep this alive here, but as overtime wick starts ticking down, it's going to be last person standing on this objective, and it looks like that person is going to be someone from LeDucks Eternal. A hard-fought way to try and get back into it, but just a bit too much of a mountain to climb on Garden for Muni's delivery service.
Yeah, I think MDS play it well, though. Like, they don't really break too easy. I would say it wasn't a complete capitulation, right? Like, they have both Sound Barrier and Kitsune Rush available for that fight, but once you get to 99 on control, particularly when it's like 99 to like under 30%, you know that you just need to stack ultimates. Try not to take the fights out too long, but just stack your ultimates as quick as possible. Really just build up that ultimate win con, because the way that a lot of these ultimates are designed now, you basically only need one on a good set to be able to get that value. And we're going to go back to casters as that pause comes in. Avalanche, I just want to direct your attention for the small discussion we have during the break of, man, how effective Ramatra's ultimate was in that mini map. I feel like every time a team popped Annihilation, it was building extremely quick and it was extremely effective. I've not seen Ram in a while. I think it actually has one of the lowest win rates overall on the ladder at the moment. But yeah, Swain ults, that sort of just drained tankiness of it. You don't even need healing, but just being able to refresh your armor, the massive damage reduction, man. In terms of area denial and punishing the lack of respect for that area denial, man, Ramatra's ultimate, it's still there. It's still so strong.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you're just able to hold up that block for however long you want to, make sure that that ultimate is going to last for pretty much forever on the objective. At least that's what it feels like. But Twist starting out with a kill onto Hagashi. That cryo freeze out in the open, just too much to be able to give a shot over to Twist, and Twist is going to take that every second of the day. First objective control on Control Center is going to go over to Muni's delivery service, so in the lead for the first time on one of these objectives. Now looking to fight back in, and this is going to be the help of them getting at least some momentum on Gardens, as they're going to not feel quite as rusty, and Dateable going down to Doors early, Doors once more. The kills starting to come in now for Muni's delivery service, and even though it's not, you know, getting the full team wipe, it's just getting a little bit more onto your side in terms of it ticking up.
Sometimes it's even better, right? Like, they just get to, fair enough, Muni's delivery service don't get to snowball their ultimate advantage, but they got two of the easiest kills they're going to get in this whole grand finals. Dateable just dies seemingly out of nowhere, and Hagashi gets hit by with a railgun right at the start of the neutral. And now it feels like an actual neutral fight is being able to take place, and Hagashi, well, if you let him neutral, he's going to do this.
Absolutely ridiculous from the Tracer player. The amount of pressure that you're able to apply is absolutely tremendous, but Doors still lives on the objective, and that Ramattra is going to be able to hold it down for quite a while. Not going to worry about the nap of the Tracer that's been dominating the backline instead. Now has to deal with the turrets once more, as Notken has come back from the dead. Hagashi just trying to get away now, has that recall if needed. Now the Annihilations come in. Sound Barrier to help supplement that damage as Doors tries to build up the Annihilation of their own. Now trying to get back into this objective. Both Kitsune rushes invested, but it's a huge barrage from Wisex. Finds 3. A 4th surely does fall. Notken's not going to last for long, and it is only going to be Doors left standing, who invested that Annihilation himself. That's a big play here to be able to nullify an ultimate that can really stand you in good stead on these objectives, but able to find Hagashi on the way out.
The Hagashi exit pick might actually be all that they need to quickly turn this into a 4v5. It felt illegal. Dateable still doesn't have sound barrier, right? Muni's delivery service, they committed 3 ultimates in that fight just to get absolutely blown out by the barrage. Now it's a overclock. So LeDucks, they shoot themselves in the foot. One DPS manages to kill 3 against 3 ultimates, and the other one overextends, forces a kill and dies, and it's given it tempo completely back to the side of Muni's delivery service.
Lost the tank. The tank presence is going to be devastating, not having this for this final fight, as it ticks over to 99% in just a second. There it goes, overtime. Wick is on the board, and Twist immediately making them pay. Now the sound barrier is there, but only 3 players going to be able to capitalize off the back of it. Hagen has switched over to the Wrecking Ball to try and get a touch. Hagashi able to find one onto Twist, now applying the pressure onto the Kiriko of Nina. Notken going down as well, and somehow they've been able to flip this. Hagen coming back on that Wrecking Ball, able to find 2, and what looked like it was the dire depths for LeDucks Eternal. They turn it into a team kill in a strange eventuality.
Yeah, somehow the stall from LeDucks Eternal is good enough that Hagen, once they get onto the ball, I don't think there's just enough damage from Muni's delivery service to get rid of that ball. And that means that they've got to look about the point, and Hagashi manages to slip around the back and clean up on the Tracer. Now that there is a more mobile tank on display, it makes it a lot harder for Ken to get that value on the Symmetra. But Doors has killed Wisex. That's another DPS dying early in the fight for LeDucks Eternal, and they have completely shot themselves in the foot. Maybe not even the foot, maybe in the face twice with a shotgun on this control center map. This was a horrible round for LeDucks Eternal.
Yeah, as it flips back over to 99%, they've been able to somehow win out some of these team fights, even having lost that first kill, but it's not sustainable, as now they just throw bodies at the objective, trying to extend the timer as long as possible. Hagen is just about going to be able to get back, and the stick onto Notken is just going to be traded out for the Suzu, so lot of work for just a little gain. Hagen still trying to roll around on the objective, but is eventually going to fall. The sound barrier invested, the annihilation invested, and what was going to be an eventuality does finally come to pass. It is 1-1, and going into Night Market, it's evened up here on Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, you can kind of see how close it is, right? Because once either of these teams have any form of advantage, you can see the other one starting to overforce and mistakes come in. So it's even in that aspect, but it's in the case of, okay, you know, I'm gonna take both of your feet, you're gonna take both of my hands. Like, it's that level of sort of aggressive slashing at each other. Unfortunately, Wisex might have had a small PTSD flashback to Chaos Theory, killing 3 by himself in a fight to clutch, only for his team to immediately then go and lose it thanks to a silly mistake about 10 seconds later. I am sorry, Wisex. For reference, Avalanche, I was his tank on Chaos Theory, so, and I'm a fucking inter. Speaking of, though, Sim TP strats, very smart on this map. It's a classic, but there's no Junkrat to punish it on the side of LeDucks Eternal. And I always say 3 point on this particular orientation, this particular area of Lijiang Tower is pretty OP.
Oh, Empty's got so much pressure onto them, and Wisex able to get the first kill. It's just a run through straight away, as eventually it becomes too much to bear for Muni's delivery service. Losing the tank should put it into the favour of LeDucks Eternal. Even though they do get in the Hagen low, it is going to be the end of this first objective fight, and LeDucks Eternal able to re-establish something.
Yeah, it's potentially greedy, but if they know that they're going to be able to guarantee the trade, it's fine from Wisex. Like, they were fully stood in the Ramatra circle and taking sim damage, just blasting rockets into Hagen. Because it feels like once the Ramatra doesn't have their form, Farah almost becomes a tank buster. Those rockets do so much damage, they're able to quickly strip the armor, quickly get into that base HP, and with the DPS passive now being applied to all roles, Lucio Kiri, it's not the strongest heals over a duration, over time. So you're going to absolutely be able to burst the tank down if you manage to find that good concentration of damage.
Yeah, Hagen just in the backline, not able to get the stick, but it doesn't matter, you found this first kill in. Hagen maybe aggressing too much, but Hagen once again going to spare the blushes of the tank, find that second pick. Eventually does go down to not Ken, but it is going to be a little too late for
Dateable.
Both. Dateable finding too, actually. Nice little trade there as well.
Yeah, as I said, it's about trades and compromise, right? Like, both of these teams know that Lucio Kiri is not going to keep her Ramatra up long term, right? But what it can do is support the flex DPS. Feels like Data's either just floating with Hardishi or Wisex, entirely dependent on which one is doing the most damage and which one has the opportunity. LeDucks, though, 67% to 0, so they're building up quite a lead now already.
Yeah, but Dateable doesn't have that sound barrier to reinvest here. It's 1-1. Wisex going down after finding a kill onto Twists, but Doors finding the kill onto Arco is mean that the sustainability is not going to be there for LeDucks Eternal. Still, Hagashi deciding, you know what, it's not really going to matter. The Tracer going huge at the moment. Empty able to find a kill onto Dateable, but now that Annihilation rings out on the objective. It needs to go big for Doors, and that it does. They're able to find the kills, they're able to trade it out. Hagashi, the last one to be left standing, the one sent back to tell the tale, but you can see the ultimate's invested just to get it off of 99% on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, in the case of Muni's delivery service, it's not Mimi's delivery service, it's from the start, because that's what you need for them right now. Finally, they've awoken up just at the last little bit of percentage they can give. They flip the fight around. They've got the ultimates to do it. But it's not the strongest ones. Like you've got to wait for High Noon to get some sort of value, and it does. In Hagen just caught completely jaywalking.
Yeah, and the sound barrier wasn't quite there in time for Dateable. Hagashi still not going to worry too much about everything there. Finding 2 on the fight, but you can't ask your Tracer to do everything at once. Eventually, the rest of the team is going to fall around him and sent back packing. Still, that delivery is going to come in of that pulse bomb and the barrage, so got to be careful to look out for that, but the copy is going to be there on the other side.
Yes, it is, and copy could be really good here. You could find yourself a support ultimate, you could find yourself a Kiri Rush, or something different. Twist has now actually gone over to the soldier.
Oh, the pulse on the empty!
There's no Suzu. Where's Mina with the Suzu yet again? Man, this Tracer is just opening up so much angles for LeDucks Eternal. It's like, that is the definition of impact, man. Holy.
And you can see eventually it pays the toll to get them back through onto the objective. Empty's going to try and stall out as long as possible, but once more it's just going to be throwing bodies at the point and seeing if you can get there. Mina trying to get in through the window, blocks the first time, able to get through the second, but LeDucks going to be blocking at the basket, making sure that the rest of the team can't get through, and eventually they're going to run out of time to get back onto the objective, still trying to find something, but Arco cleaning house. The team kill does ring out, and it is going to be LeDucks finding that first map in this series to take a 1-0 lead after coming up from that lower bracket final. Having been sent down there by their opponents today, they are really looking to be up with it, and Hagashi, definitely we're going to see something to say, you are here at this moment.
Yes. All of a sudden, you can feel some of the confidence probably start to grow in the side of LeDucks Eternal. Muni's delivery service, they're not feeling bubbly anymore. That is going to be one that knocks the wind out of their sails. But if you're them, really, you just got to sort of look at yourself, really rationalize it. Just almost give yourself like a no time to explain, right? Just go on to the next map. Just breathe and move on. You're in a grand finals. It's a first to four. You can still give up 2 more maps and you're completely fine. It's about figuring it out. You know, now you can potentially think about the Farah. Will that force in the hit stand? Do you want to play against that? You've got so many options. A lot of the time when it's really close, we can almost see teams like trade like a I think Marge, who was also a Floridian, called it like almost tennis Overwatch, where it's like you just sort of
Tennis
keep.
theory.
Yeah, it's tennis theory. You just literally ping pong it back to each other. It's just I pick, you pick, I pick. You know, I defend my serve, you defend your serve, and well, I won the first set, so I'm gonna win eventually. But let's see if that happens. That was a map that went right down to the wire, and you can tell there really isn't much in it for these teams. Hardishi's not going to be able to play at this level for 7 maps, right? For the side of LeDucks Eternal, eventually this tracer will fall off. But also on the flip side, like Muni's delivery service were really solid with Twist, Ken, and Doors. That it doesn't matter if your tracer gets like 2 kills on the off angle because you just sort of run down their whole team in main, right? Like,
I mean, they're going to have to be looking at this in the situations of as we see some love down in the bottom lower third, but you're going to have to look at this as a marathon and not a sprint if you're Mooney's delivery service. Yes, the
oh,
Ducks have got
absolutely.
out of the blocks to start off with in the lead, but you got to take a map off them. You got to break that serve sometimes, but in order to make sure that you're not in a worse situation, you got to hold your serve here now and take yourselves to somewhere that you think you could be doing well on. I believe we do have at least a map type already set out for this second map. Forgive me as I do not remember which one that is, but it is going to be Mooney's delivery service to pick after, I believe, an initial ban from LeDucks Eternal, making sure they can take out one map that they definitely don't want to play.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm interested to see where we go to. Muni's delivery service. Have they got a pick that's comfortable? Have they got a, dare I say, a first-rate town? And that one's not a subtle reference. That's a really obvious one. Have they got a first-rate town in their back pocket that they can go home to? Do they know where is safe and where is almost a guaranteed or a very, very heavily favoured matchup? Can you potentially think about not taking that Faradul? I think Ken was getting a little bit better on the Echo towards the end, but that Farah potentially shocked them. And as I said, though, on the flip side, like LeDucks Eternal were also incredibly clutch in some moments, right? Incredibly clutch. But on the flip side, it's like LeDucks Eternal, like they did just int control center, and I think that is completely fair, not biased, and completely reasonable to say. Like they did not want to win control center. That was like low key disgusting, not gonna lie, but it's fine. We've been there. Nerves, right? Nerves, pressure, over expectations, It's fine. They'll slingshot right back.
Yeah, they did just need a little bit of a water break on that first map. Getting out of the blocks pretty quickly, getting that first objective into your hands of Gardens, and then going over to Control Center, going, now we want to play Night Market. Let's just make sure that we can get there. And they were fairly close to being able to get some way back into Control Center if they were able to, but not able to find it in the end. As we see the Midtown ban from LeDucks Eternal, so it's going to narrow down that hybrid pool that Mooney's delivery service is going to be able to pick from. But in terms of what we've seen played so far, where do you reckon they should go here, Jace?
Well, I'm trying to think what's available in the actual map pool. So Muni's delivery service, I think, wants something that's probably. I think they seem to be a bit more confident on the kind of tank bustery, but also like Symmetra hit scan favored maps. I think Twist is the most superior hit scan in this lobby, and I think that is one of the reasons that LeDucks probably took away Midtown. Second point hit scan is very, very strong, always has been, always will be, and it's it's not even the USS, it's just the community grassroots league classic. It's Lijiang Tower into Kings
Into
Row. I don't
Kings
know how
Row.
long I don't know how long you've been casting Avalanche, but I've been doing this since like 2020. Yeah, it would have been around about during COVID. I've been doing this since about midway through 2020, late 2020, early 2021. And Lijiang Tower into Kings Row is just, I think I'll go and order a okay, man. Like I have retired. I'm just doing this for the love of the game, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it still holds strong. The community is going to have a sentiment on maps that you want to play, and at the end of the day, it's what comes through. And like you said, those tank bustery maps where you can play something like that Symmetra, the brawly style, is going to be something that can be emergent on Kings Row for Mooney's delivery service. But I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
Lijiang Tower into Kings Row, what a surprise as we head out our first two maps. No prizes for guessing those ones, as I believe that would have been very high on the betting slip. There has been a couple of bans come through as well, which I see here is really, really interesting as we get into this second map. And you see those bans in the top left-hand side of the screen. Zarya banned out from the other side, so the Russian warrior taken off the first two maps by either team. But the Pharaoh banned out from LeDucks Eternal, so not wanting to play up against their own medicine.
That would have been an MDS ban, no?
No.
Is
Um,
Leduc's already Leduc what MDS bans Aria Luau, did you say? Oh,
yeah.
okay. Because Leduc's banned it on map one, right? Because I'm like, did a team ban Zarya twice? No, they didn't. All right. Anyway, my fault. Why is Dab Master in the lobby? Can someone kick that guy? Thank you. Anyway, Rodin on the Reaper character. Hard is she on the May? Well,
It's going to
they
be a
say King.
different point of force.
Yeah, they say Kings Row ain't exactly no first-rate town. It's definitely better to live in than Birmingham. Fuck you, Luau. But nonetheless, let's see. Yeah, fuck you. Let's see. Let's let's see what these teams have got cooking. A depressed Mexican and a joyful Chinese lady walk into a bar in London. Let's see where the punchline is. Who gets punched first? There we go.
Well, there is going to be some hands being thrown now as both Ramatras enter that Nemesis form, trading blow for blow, but the beam ramps up on Not Ken. It's going to be a lot of damage forced onto Inhagen as they try and take this first objective by force, but you can see Inhagen still down low. That healing deficit is definitely there, but Nemesis form comes back, tries to get a little bit aggressive, and this is going to be the loop that you're going to see for a little while here. You're going to see Inhagen go back in and out when that Nemesis form is available, but not Ken just able to ramp up that charge on that Symmetra. And Ronan being stuck on the corner of the hotel as well, just about able to get away with the flight. Inhagen having to be forced back.
I think the Ducks were potentially a bit too scared here on their attack. Like you know that you're gonna win the long fight, but one Maywall should be able to force so much, even though it gets broken quite easily. These days, it's still so much pressure
as well. And there's a lot of pressure onto Doors. That Blizzard invested as well, but not able to find anyone caught up in the storm, as now that Raging Storm falls back on the other side. Doors with that Annihilation able to find Ronin, trying to stay alive for a second as well. That Mabel's going to stop out the Annihilation, but somehow surviving Doors. Now you can see Datable investing that sound barrier that's not there on the other side for Empty, but it's not going to matter if Twist is able to do this much damage from the skies. That Override Protocol able to take down one, but the damage was already done, and eventually they do all fall down as Datable is the last to go back to spawn.
This might be a harsh glimpse into all of our futures, Avalanche, because eventually the clankers will rise, and that is what they will do to you. They will wait until you've used all your resources, and then an annihilation. You think you're going to get baited, right? You think it's ChatGPT that's the evil one, and all of a sudden, boom, Usual Gemini comes out with a nuke from the sky, and we all die. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how the human race is going to end. Nonetheless, speaking of more important things, which is middle division Overwatch, Inhargen's got an annihilation, and we discussed last map, that looks pretty good.
Dateable can't help in this situation though. Down so low, the Lucio can't get back in, and somehow they're able to mitigate the damage forced by Ronan's Death Blossom alongside the Annihilation. Twist now in the backline. The backstab from the M-Ray is going to be a little bit too much for LeDucks Eternal to deal with, and now as their time bank goes below a minute, you've got a couple of ultimates coming on board, but it's what you can do with them to just try and force something here.
Yeah, I will say that it has been posted in chat, and Cobalt from the bench players talking like starters, I hate it, but nonetheless he's actually correct. Not Ken on the sim has been massive. Definitely didn't get the most impact on map 1, right? Wasn't quite able to find the angles, the aggression, the sustained aggression. But it's come this map. Twisted's frozen up the ice.
Do they know Twisted's frozen?
Saved him. I don't think so. No animation.
And the Annihilation straight back from Doors. They found 3 kills, but Doors is still going to stay alive on this objective, just about able to survive. And if you can find Ronan here, this is ridiculous.
No way. Oh my god.
Forward to the Annihilation. 10 HP, the Ramatra able to stand up to the fight, and the Wrecking Ball not able to touch. That is ridiculous from Doors.
God. Oh, I'm sorry, Doors. It's like 1 AM, so I can't stream, but that was fucking nuts. How on earth do you clutch that, bro? Like, actually, like, real talk for a second, we were talking about the strengths of Annihilation, and LeDucks Eternal, it's not like they all just run into it. Like, the Doors does really well there in that clutch situation. Basically doesn't miss a punch. Lands a really good Vortex, but also the awareness to be able to pick the right targets and then toggle the block and the punches at the same time. MDS did a really good job of trading as much HP of damage into LeDucks before going down as possible, that it let Doors clean up in that situation. Literally only needed 10 HP, but nah, bro, that's actually crazy. How on earth did Muni's delivery service get the full hold there? That's so illegal, man.
You put someone in a 2v5, even with the Annihilation, you don't expect them to come out on top, and Doors just proving, you know what, I'm different, I'm built different. We've got...
It was objectively a 1v4.
And yeah, objectively a 1v4, 2v5 into a 1v4, ridiculous situation from Doors, and all 5 found while the ultimate was still on board, so not even having to let it go down to get that Nemesis form back up and get some healing in. The fact that Doors lives on 10 HP as well is just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even really know what to say. Like, that is, as I said, I wish I could have cast that better, because that is one of the craziest clutches I have seen, and the setup for it as well. And everyone, of course, is on low HP for the side of LeDucks Eternals, but if one person can step out of the Annihilation, Doors probably dies. Crazy clutch, man. And I think Doors and Ken have been such a big difference compared to Inhargen and Hagashi in this map so far.
Yeah, they've been able to force a Cryo Freeze out from Hagashi originally, but able to get back through, and I mean, there's not even a single tick to be able to hold on to. Even so, they're able to find the hero of the last fight. Doors does go down to Hagashi, who maybe heard you talking some stuff there, Jace. Able to find the opposing tank, and they at least start out well on what's going to be such a difficult hold to even get a draw here.
Yeah, unfortunately, the lyric goes, the seasons change, but Doors remains. I don't even know my mother's name. Nonetheless, I'm just thinking, man, you only need a tick, right? Just stack ultimates, stack your Annihilation, stack your Kitsune Rush. What can LeDucks do? I'm thinking a Blizzard. They've got to charge it extraordinarily quick, and even then, with no Blizzard, it might not be. No Blizzard, no worries for the side of MDS. LeDucks Eternal. They're so aggressive in these first opening trades, right? Avalanche, like, look how much damage they're trying to put onto Ken and Doors for walking up.
Yeah, immediately. They are sending them packing here, but like you said, you really just need to stack the full 5, and for LeDucks Eternal, you can't let even a neutral fight go your way. They decide to go quickly, though. Both Kitsune Rushes invested, Empty being able to invest that sound barrier as well, not quite able to find the kill onto Hagashi, but stuck in the backline now is the Mei, able to get that Blizzard off the bat, but everything in the kitchen sink is being thrown in by both sides. Dawes has that Annihilation back, and that is a devastating blow for Hagen. This is going to run out sooner rather than later. The override protocol comes back in from Ronin though, and somehow they've been able to turn them away. They do still have both DPS ultimates coming up soon, and immediately they still decide to go for it. Overclock invested. They fall now with that sound barrier, the last ult to be used on that one side. The only thing left that hasn't been used so far is that symmetrical for not Ken. I say that immediately, it's invested, and you can see the waterfall of kills coming through for Muni's delivery service. It's taken them a little bit of a while, but they have been able to deliver their first point of this series as they're able to take out King's Row. Not as quick as they would have wanted it, but I mean, it's better than Every. It's better than Royal Mail. It's Muni's delivery service, able to get on the board 1-1, and Tennis Theory does pursue itself at least for a little bit longer.
It stays on. I mean, they can hop on their broom and fly away after this one. It's signed, sealed, and delivered, and they can just take their win, get the hell out of Dodge, as the Americans say.
Signed, sealed, delivered. I'm Dawes.
Yeah, that is. I mean, that play of the game itself, right? Like it almost looks like. Bearing in mind we're in a grand finals, these are the two best teams we've got in the division. It looks like they're just being mind controlled by Dawes to funnel into that annihilation and punch range, one by one, right? Like I thought they had a potential to bottle it when they use Fletch DPS ultimate. Sorry, they used Annihilation and Kitsune Rush and Sound Barrier, basically all at the same time, did MDS. LeDucks Eternal lived it, and they had an override protocol afterwards. You want to layer your ultimates, you want to open with one, use that to get ground, use that to take space, then you force another one for cooldown trades, and then you go another one to shut the door. They sort of just, shoot them all out at once, throw them all out of the back of the truck like they're being delivered by a lazy FedEx worker, right? Like, just throw them all out there. It doesn't matter, who the fuck cares. But it's a shorter time, it's a shorter window in which you are at a resource disadvantage from the other side. It's just simple numbers. If 3 of you press Q that lasts 5 seconds at the same time, that's 5 seconds. But if you stagger it out, no, I'm going to get banned if I say that. That's like 2 NSFW for stream. I was going to make an edging joke, but nonetheless, if you know what I mean, if you can literally space it out, if you can have the self-control of a human being, that 5 seconds turn into 15 seconds, and all of a sudden, like your wife doesn't hate you and she doesn't want to leave you. But more importantly, you walk away Kings Row with a map win.
The one last stand of a tired Jace is something that I'm not going to get tired of for the rest of this series. But as you can see down the bottom, Watch Point Gibraltar banned out from MDS, I believe, without asking Cobalt. So Cobalt not happy with the decision, but the rest of the team happy with it. It is going to be Havana coming up for LeDucks Eternal as they try to secure this 2-1 before we head to a break on the other side of this map. But I mean, you look at these two teams, it felt like it was pretty even on Lijiang Tower, but the prowess there for Muni's delivery service. Yeah, you're throwing everything out and seeing what works. Some packages might be a little bit broken, but I mean, you have the situations where you're able to win it out. The last ultimate on the board was that symmetrical, and at the end of the day, it's the last one that they needed. The kills came in, everything came through. It was a team kill in the end, and no one was able to escape the grasp of Muni's delivery service. As we see 1-1, 1-0 on Kings Row, that full hold being absolutely ridiculous in the end. And a couple of hero plays, but it doesn't matter how you get there in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, my hay fever's acting up for a second. I'm allergic to Havana. I think literally the name is whispered amongst the ether, and I've started like sneezing. I actually am allergic to Havana. Maybe I'm allergic to Overwatch. Who knows? But no, Havana is. I mean, yeah, bro. Let's go to Havana in a grand final. Said no one ever. Fucking boring map. Let's see. It's been the pick of LeDucks Eternals. I think that for a team that did better with the double flex DPS, it could be interesting. But there is rumours that the YZX Hanzo has slowly appeared. It went missing for a while. Much like, what can I say that's like funny, but also like Okay, never mind. Yeah, it went missing for a while. Um,
The
kind
package
of
was not
like
found. Muni's
yes,
delivery service
exactly.
were able to lose it in the post somewhere, but LeDucks Eternal have found it on the roadside and been able to pick it back up.
Yeah, whoever. Yeah, I think is that Luau typing that. I personally love Sigma Widow Bapalari. Yeah, it's a low-key truth nuke. Like Kiriko
Yeah,
banned
it's
as
all
well.
about the
Yeah, where
fundamentals. We're going
uh,
back to basics here. It's a FPS hero shooter. You get shot, you lose a round. It's an FPS game, as a wise, well, somewhat wise man once said about a different game in this situation. But we should be going in soon, as the bans have come in as well. And yeah, I'm really interested to see how this one goes. It is going to be a little bit of left click gaming rather than something a
hmm
bit more tactical.
Well, to just rip off the references, we are going east side and we're going to be on the ground. Absolutely. Speaking of, LeDucks Eternal, you I'm interested to see what their support line is able to pull out on this map because I think they've been quietly effective. They've been a bit slower in building up support ultimates, is what I will
Yeah, I think
use
that's
double flex
definitely something.
DPS or high damage comps. But if you can play the poke supports right, Avalanche, then if you can basically you're sort of getting beat, I think, on the Lucio Kiri, I would say overall. But this is a map where the Lucio Kiri doesn't really matter, especially when one of them is banned.
Yeah, how do you feel about running 4 DPS in this situation? Is pretty much going to be what's seen. That Iari Baptiste going to be favoured from both sides as Muni delivery service prepare to erect their defences. Doors just stopping for a little minute to admire the view, but oh dear, what would you like for Christmas? The Malka is here. He is on his sled and he
Like
is
Mauga
ready
sledding emo
to
is
go.
peak.
It was banned for quite a while because you were able to escape cage with moving emotes, but not going to be the case anymore. And I mean, this is going to be a sting in the tail for Mooney's delivery service. They're not going to expecting the dog that's waiting at the doors to attack them. Instead, no, switching back over is Silvertails, just going to be trolling us for the moment. Not Ken's going to be trying to get some damage through, but it's going to be
Holds it
living on
in.
prayer for Wisex with that Hanzo and seeing what you can do as you try and launch some logs, not able to find anything at the moment apart from finding a sentry turret in the crossfire, but Ronan being able to find the opposite number of twists is a good start out here for LeDucks Eternal
A
as they
great
try and
start.
get some momentum back into their favour.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Hanzo POV on this map is like low-key sleeper, and as much as I love Wisex, we might have to skip to someone else, thank you admins. Just because in general, like, it is literally sometimes cosmetic. The threat of the Hanzo is stronger than the Hanzo itself. Like, if you don't run him in a straight line, he can't hurt you, you know? And that's exactly what I think about the raids and the Church of Scientology. If we all run, they can't hurt us all. Anyway, moving on. Silvertolls is in a non-Sigma, which I think is like low-key fire because Silvertoll Sigma is really, really good, as we're seeing. Like, look how aggressive he is in walking, right? Boom, running towards 2. Wait, is this just first point? It might be, you know.
Yeah, I mean, up until these flurry of kills eventually, 2 people had died and both of them were twists. As the Emre not really able to do something on this first objective, and you can see immediately the switch up to get Inhagen on that support role, switching out to the Baptiste and making sure that Arco can go over to the Iari as well. And looks like they're having a little bit of favor, especially in this Emre battle. Ronin almost already having that override protocol on board.
I'm not sure how... Is it going to be good? I'm thinking normally you do want to go a bit higher into the air for time, but in an enclosed space to be able to splash that right click off, it's going to do so much damage. Surely. We got a pause coming
Especially
up.
against a composition like this that is going to try and stay in the same situation. And we have 2 Hanzos as well, as we are just going to take a quick pause. I am worried about seeing a second Hanzo. It's just taking one less POV from our observers, unfortunately. You can see
A
the damage
second
going into the
Hanzo. A second Hanzo has hit the timeline. I will
Yeah,
point out actually
the
that
delivery
Muni
there.
they've got Muni, who is their DPS player. They've got him on Alari for this map, so they're clearly very committed to it, which is quite interesting, actually. The Flux comes in, it finds absolutely no one. Doors have been there, you know, we hate to see it. Unfortunately, they're now caught in window. I believe without grasp, a dragon is completely shoved through their face. Yeah, not looking too hot on the crazy bold Dutchman there, Doors, but honestly, they've been so solid these first two maps that can't really blame them. Tolls is in specifically just to play this, whereas Doors is basically going to be in for the whole series on Sigma. There's no volatility there for the MDS tank line, and it's not even a tank line, it's just a tank man, a tank NB, a single Irish they them stands alone against LeDucks Eternal, and they're going to have to for this whole series, because I think it's going to go for a long one, Avalanche.
Yeah, the trench warfare has hit the fortifications now, and I mean, if you are going to clutch up on defense somewhere on Havana, it is going to be on this third objective, known as a really big stalwart for this defensive side, but now as they try and fight forwards once more, being pushed away a little bit, that accretion landing on the Silvertools, just about able to stay alive with the help of that immortality build, but not something that's going to be able to be kept forward now. That captive sun invested by both teams, just about able to navigate this, and the battle in the sky, actually Ronin's going to find the better twist once more, trying to find some more kills now as Muni's got nowhere to hide on that high ground, and eventually the decimation happens once again. Ronin just about surviving, but finding the damage that was absolutely needed, and a possible bad message from Doors, I'm not surprised.
Possible bad message. I was about to say, because both these Alaris did probably the best Nifty B impression I've ever seen there. Going for the over angle ego peak, hitting the sunrise and absolutely fucking whiffing it. But luckily, for the side of LeDucks Eternal, Ronin was locked in. Didn't let us down, unlike Nifty B on the Alari, which we've seen many a time. That man is less reliable than the sun when it comes to hitting Alari ults. The newspaper, not the big floaty ball thing. Nonetheless, we've got Overwatch going on.
Wait, Ken? Oh, at least you find something with it this time, Doors. The opposing tank launched into the air, and Muni's going to be able to deal the damage to take out Silvertools now. Just trying to back away. Not Ken going down low on that Hanzo, but Twist has returned from the grave to take out the opposing one on the other side, and eventually they are going to be trading out here. It is going to be a third pretty much fight win for Muni's delivery service, but with 3 minutes 25 and barely any point left for them to hold, it's a difficult situation still.
Yeah, and of course we know that historically, like, castles are pretty difficult to siege, right? So, like, you know, good map design from Blizzard. This last point always feels like you just have to overwhelm ultimates and try and win. It's literally like a 2 CP point if you think about it. It's so horrible to attack, particularly when you've got snipers as good as Twists and Ken on viable characters. Tolls finds Nina though, so they might be doing it.
Yeah, they've been able to find 3 early, 2 off the back of Wisex, one with the ultimate, one with that sonar arrow, and now just you can see Doors fighting for their life, putting up as much of a fight as possible, but down to 19 HP, just has to go for a swim and try and get back to the point as soon as possible. Mina's now out on this Lucio, trying to hold the point for as long as possible. Twist out on the Tracer as well, but it's not going to be enough. 2 minutes 25 on the clock, and a full capture of Havana is definitely impressive for LeDucks Eternal, especially given how quickly they were able to be held on our first point of King's Row earlier. At least we see the entire map this time and not point number 1. So I appreciate the sightseeing tour of Havana, but Muni's delivery service maybe giving up a little bit too much as they send their packages around the entire map.
Yeah, I will like to point out that I don't think you can be a prodigy on Hanzo if you've been playing it since like 2021, right? Like, this guy isn't.
You never be a prodigy on Hanzo. I feel like that's just an oxymoron.
You say that. But yeah, Ronin has been absolutely fried. Look at how much damage the Emre's been putting down. And whilst the Hanzo has definitely been effective in spots, it's actually, I think, the consistency of what Ronin's doing. We've got 2 unks here on the side of DPS for LeDucks Eternal. Both Ronin and Wisex have been around the BPL game for a while, looking to capture titles for themselves, looking for that illustrious. Dude, Wisex rolled back the clock so hard on some of these fights, I would have called him Dragon Watch. I was about to go out and tweet from the Heartbreakers social media account. It was that long ago since I've seen this man pop off on Hanzo or just on this map in general, but it's a huge boon for LeDucks Eternal, right? You put in Ronin, who's an aimer on a 2026 character, which is Emery, and you've got Wisex, who's able to just hit a good enough amount of shots, and all of a sudden your DPS line is just so good, and it makes the rest of your life easier. I actually don't know how much damage Arcoin and Hagen have, but to be honest, I don't care, because they're not getting one shot every fight. Their resources have been human, they have been good, they are not actively throwing the game, and that is all that your supports need to do. When your DPS are doing this good, they're putting this much pressure out.
Yeah, Ronin's playing Halo, and I don't even know what Wisex is playing. Just throwing some javelins out on the hand. So
he's playing Duck Hunt, bro. Trust.
Yeah, yeah. It's going back to that age-old question of Ronin again, just able to take out that Baptiste, just showing a little bit too much as Mina, and sent back to the spawn doors. And this is going to send Muni's delivery service packed, shipped back to the first delivery point once more. As I mean, you can see Ronin's just able to hold this high ground on the M-Rain. They've got 4 DPS here, and Silvertools and in Hagen able to find out doors as well. So it's just nothing's going right here at the moment on Havana for Muni's delivery service, and this is exactly the momentum that you wanted back for LeDucks Eternal after that King's Row calamity.
Absolutely, what a way to refill yourself with confidence, right? Tennis theory, you know, maybe it's just tennis.
We're just playing tennis. We're playing Wii Tennis now. With no more Overwatch, and you can see immediately Silverdoor's taking down doors as well, showing exactly how to hit a Gravitic Flux, sending him packing once again, and now they've got less of a time bank than LeDucks Eternal finished with.
And it's tough. They have ultimates in the bank, but they're not the most reliable. I think Mina's window swing is going to have to be good. They might be able to get Silver Tolls on the ego check, right? So an old interaction that dates back from Overwatch 1 is you catch the Sigma mid-grasp, they use their grasp quite greedily, and then you just window them, your Sigma hits the rock, and they just get blown up, and they're instantly one-shot, because that's both their cooldowns gone. So let's see if they can try and force that interaction. Looks like Silver Tolls respects it, and all of a sudden, it becomes hard, because you've got Override Protocol and a Captive Sun online. Can we hit it? Can we hit the Sun?
Yeah, able to get it onto Silvertools, but the grasp is still there to try and stay alive for as long as possible, but eventually the Sigma is going to fall onto Tired Eyes, and Ronin still able to find one Muni going down, but it is a trade out of the two of them. This payload is eventually going to go to this first objective, so we are going to see the distillery for a second time, but look at the ultimates that are there for LeDucks Eternal, and especially as you're trying to get through this first throws of this second point, there's so many angles that you can cover with these ultimates. 4 of them on the board. The only thing not accounted for is Silvertool's Gravitic Flux, but Doors trying to progress on the outside, the accretion going wide from both Sigmas now. The Gravitic Flux invested. It is going to be straight onto the opposing tank, not going to be able to do enough damage to make sure that Silvertools does fall. And I mean, it's an investment of 1 immediate cooldown from Inhagen, as now you're going to try and do some damage to the rest of the team. The window's not going to be able to help you out that much, and Twist finds a miracle grenade out onto Inhagen as well. This is exactly what you wanted. You need this first pick. Wisex has invested that dragon as well, and it's not found anything. Notken switching over to a second hit scan just to make sure that they can get so much damage out here. It's 4 hit scans on the board and a Sigma for Muni's delivery service, and they are ramming the bullets straight down the throats of LeDucks Eternal as they look to take the second point quickly as possible and try and at least get some sort of time bank on the board and try and stay
really good momentum. This comp is so difficult. Like, it's 4 hit stands. It's the most EU comp ever, bro. 4 hit stands and a Sigma on this map. It literally is how you play it. And it's like probably one of the worst maps in the game because of it. One thing I'm actually noticing is this is one of my first looks at Emre in a long time. Well, basically since he's buffed, right? And the amount of picks, the amount of final blows that both of these players are getting with the grenade has been surprising. I didn't think it would be that good at actually being able to finish off targets. I feel like you're more sort of open with it and try and look for a 3-tap or a 2-tap off it. But I'm seeing so many just like random frag kills, but it feels like they're sort of just chucking it from deep, you know, throwing it up from curry range, seeing what happens.
Eternal.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, like, you're just, you know, like, you know, Denzel Valentine for 3, like, you know, air ball, but like it's hitting every now and again. You know, they're not quite shooting 45%, but they're not shooting 15% either.
I feel like as well, it's
That's
just
what.
getting behind cover and you feel like you're in a perfect situation to be able to get away from the damage of that M-Ray, and suddenly you see this grenade going over the wall. It's a little bit
Well,
of that looking up meme. The Willem Dafoe
yeah.
look up as the grenade goes over the wall that you're hiding behind, and suddenly you are no more. 4 ultimates on the side for Muni's delivery service as they look to
Like,
engage once more.
why does he get 2 charges of the grenade? Like, can we grow up? Like, real talk. Like, why does he get 2 charges of it? Like, Blizzard.
It's got to be Halo. We have to make the most Halo character possible. But anyway, we can see Muni's delivery service trying to re-engage here. The window could be devastating, but it's there for both sides. As the throw of damage is going to be monumental, and Silvertools isn't going to be able to stay alive through that gravitic flux. It's trades out. Ronan's been able to find 1, but now the override protocol from Twist is going to send the rest of the team packing. Finds 2 off of it, a 3rd down low as well. And I mean, 2 minutes and 5 seconds, they're approaching this final objective. They do need to see it out here, and Muni with the captive son could be enough to do what they need. As here we can see Ducks Eternal getting back through, but the only thing that they're close to at the moment, or the thing that they're closest to, is that Transcendence. Immediately the kill off the back of that captive son. They're able to find the kills forwards and through, and where the momentum seemed like it was all with LeDucks Eternal, suddenly no one knows how to defend on Havana. What feels like a ridiculous situation. Arco is going to invest that Transcendence just to take a bit more time off of the clock. They know that they are going to be in the lead here, LeDucks Eternal, but they want as big of a lead as possible. 2 minutes 25, down to 1.5 minutes now. Silvertool's down so low, eventually you are going to fall. Wisex able to find not Ken, but it's all going to be too little, too late. It's 1 minute 25 to 2 minutes 25. A minute more on the clock for the Ducks Eternal, but it looked like Muni's delivery service were dead and buried after their defense. So to come back in and have what seems to be a fairly healthy time bank still on the board as well on your own side, it's something very surprising.
Yeah, I see how much damage all of these teams have done, right? Like, definitely MDS were a little bit behind on the damage numbers. Like, Doors only 13 and 7, Twist 15 and 10, compared to the massive KDs. Like, look at Ronan, man, 33 and 6. Bro is doing everything he can in this lobby. Like, he, you know, they've put LeDucks in their name, and honestly, he might be 2018 Bron, because it feels a little bit no help. Like, the fights that Ronan isn't putting out ridiculous amounts of value, more so than almost both Muni's damage and Twist damage at the same time. It's tough out here. You know,
can I just mention the monumental 7 healing from Not Ken? I feel like that's absolutely helped the situation.
True. Truth nuke. Holy 51 healing from Silvertools.
Hey, it all goes the way to get there.
Bad. No, absolutely right. Like, let's see what we can. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, it's going to be Ronan out on this Bastion as they try and hold as close as possible. Silvertool's able to find the first kill, and you can see that time already bleeding off a dwindling clock as Arco's able to find Doors as well. Tank's going to take a little bit while to get back. They are going to try and break through this with a very heavy damage composition of their own, but it's going to be difficult to get out of here. Now this turret form engaged once again from Ronan, so much damage invested, and even with that save from everything that you can do on the support line, it's not going to be enough. Doors the only one left standing, once again having to stop back into the spawn doors, make sure you don't die.
Yeah, this is it, right? Like, Doors rolls out on Sigma, and they just pull up Basti and Farah into them, so they force the change onto the Diva, and Diva's going to be pretty good in this spot. You think if one of Arco or Wisex oversteps, they are going to get run down by the absolute behemoth that is Diva. She got so much HP, at stake here, so much HP to work with. But Ken has killed Wisex somehow. Symmetra has killed the Farah. That is not something that we see every day. Muni's delivery service, they make a smart rotation or two, and they get out of what was the difficult fight. But LeDucks now have the option to just full counter swap. Yeah, LeDucks should try and just hit some kind of full counter swap and go from there. That's normally what you can do when you close hold, is you force them onto a comp to beat yours, and then you full counter swap. But I think they're close enough to ultimates that they like their chances with the cards that they have dealt. Let's see.
Going to be looking to stage forwards once more, trying to take as much damage out as possible. That amplification matrix out from both sides now. White in with that barrage. It doesn't find enough, but they're able to get the shine. Yeah, the zoning barrage. Able to take them off the objective. Ronin's 40-7, by the way. Like, what is this? That's ridiculous.
Bron
had 16 kills before anyone else on the team.
Bron numbers. Wisex is on 24. Dude, Ronin just been at the heart of everything on this map. Backed himself to go to Havana. Said, "Listen, let me cook, boys. I'm on Emre," and they might have to ban Emre potentially.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Service. It looks like LeDucks there are in a really commanding position to go 2-1 up in this series, and honestly, off the back of some fantastic DPS play from Ronin, like he just has carried this map. Twist and Ken just have not. Twist and Ken just they don't have it. We talked about like how good Hardishi was for map 1, right? And it's like both Hardishi and Ronin have had absolutely monstrous performances on Lijiang Tower and now Havana, and you're thinking they just are the reason. DPS is such a high impact role that, like, you know, what can you say, you know?
At the end of the day, you can't beat the ego peak, and Ronin's been able to get some ego on the rest of the team. The slam dunk from game 3, LeDucks has been able to take out a fair amount. Wisex switching over to the Genji to try and get them out of spawn here, as it is going to be a close hold on the other side. They know they need to do this, but the Bastion Cat out from Ronin's going to be devastating, and there's nothing that they can do about it. The left clicks aren't landing enough, and now you've dealt with pretty much the only thing that's going to be able to deal with you in a consistent basis. The kills are ringing out as Twist is able to take down the biggest threat, but it means that the rest of the team is able to push forwards, and now it's only going to be one fight left needed for LeDucks Eternal.
It's such a good strategy though, right? Because you instantly get access to level 3 perks because it's overtime, which means you can literally just turn, with the cat, you can turn yourself into like a, you can literally turn yourself into an AC 130, get that high angle, and just start splashing damage down on people. It's probably way easier to hit at this speed and sort of height than the primary fire. Going to be having a go with it though themselves is Twist.
Well, sure Ronin's back on the Emre. Ronin's back on the main character and taking over once more. Able to find Muni, everyone falls down, and eventually that is going to be all they wrote for Havana. LeDucks holding serve, taking it to 2-1 off the back of a dominant display by Ronin. Over 20,000 damage, just a few kills off of that 50 bomb when no one else was able to break 30. Absolutely insane. Put the team on his back and delivered when it was needed most against the delivery service on the other side.
Yeah, it's just a shite performance, bro. Like, what else do you want to say? Like, that was a nuts performance from Ronin. Sometimes you just have to sort of say, listen, bro, you're in a grand finals, and we know Ronin is clutch, right? Like, I know Ronin is clutch anyway, because that guy bailed my ass out so many times on the 9IX. Really, really good player. But it's in a grand finals when the pressure matters most. That I think there was 9 players in that lobby. Dare I say that they struggled a little bit, but one didn't, and that was Ronin. And sometimes that's just all it is, and that's all that it can be. So Ronin the difference maker, map 3. Hadashi the difference maker, map 1. And I think Doors the difference maker, map 2. Muni's delivery service. They're going to have to repackage, retool, and fly out of the gates better in map 4. And if not, they're going to find themselves up a 3-1 lead. And LeBron at 3-1 leads, it's kind of historic. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this 5-minute break. See you guys later as our
Welcome back with us in this grand finals between Mooney's Delivery Service and LeDucks Eternal, where you saw a prime performance from Ronin taking down the 500 on the other side, and then some 2-1 to LeDucks holding serve after taking Lijiang Tower in the first place, going over to King's Row and getting stalled out on first objective, but able to get the momentum back on Havana and really showing some prowess on that M-Ray was Ronin. We head over
Yeah.
to this fourth map of the series, which is going to be Flashpoint. The ban out was Suravasa, but Atlas is going to be the pick as MDS try and get themselves back into this series, get the momentum back, and try and hold serve once more and see if Tennis Theory continues.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more sober now than I was for maps 1 and 2. I have hydrated and I'm looking forward to it because I said at the start we might be in for a long ride, and it could be the case. We're seeing Atlas, which is a new one. Saravasa, I think, is a good ban because it probably would have been the pick TBH. Feels like it would have been anyway. But MDS, Muni's Delivery Service, once again have a chance to play something that is very tank-centric, which I think is where they have been gaining very big advantages. What were the
Get on doors
bans?
back.
Yes. What were the bans again?
Yeah, we'll see that in just a second as we are going to head into Atlas soon, and we can see them right here. Lucio banned out from Mooney's Delivery Service, which is going to allow a lot less speed control on Flashpoint, as you would usually see. On the other side, not Ken being banned away from that Symmetra, not wanting a repeat of what's happened previously. As we head in and see the piano. Is someone going to give us a little tune? Unfortunately, I don't think so. At least we got a little bit of dancing out from Arco, giving us the Le Seraphim special.
Yeah, anti-fragile. Yeah, hit that shit. What? It's the song. It's literally the Le Seraphim song, man. Like, can a man
We're
not
back
have
on Vendetta. I feel
a-
like we've gone back in time a couple of months. No, we're switching back over, but the Venture, that one Ven has stayed, and Cobalt on the Mitsuki. They're going to need to play a very specific situation to be able to play around this Mitsuki's aura, but it does allow you to get a little bit more aggressive with that Kakashi doll and head forwards. Hashi back on this Tracer, back into the lineup alongside Ronin, and we saw how much that M-Ray was able to do before, but Dawes is trying to walk over Silvertors, and that's exactly what has been allowed to happen. The tank going down for LeDucks Eternal. It's going to be a first objective control for Mooney's Delivery Service. The rest of the team just deciding without that tank presence, don't want any of that.
You see the tank presence, right? Like, they really look to focus out Silver Tolls. It not only puts pressure on Tolls, it puts pressures on Arco and then Hagen as well, who is in on the flex support here for a second map in a row now. Cobalt and Mina going to be putting out a decent amount of spam damage, obviously very off-angle heavy. Cobalt, not really known for their Mizuki, but not really known for anything really. So let's see if they've picked it up whilst they've been in the time chamber with MDS this season since being acquired. Not by the looks of it with the chain practice, but the good news for LeDucks is that chain message, which means Hardashi is free to cause panic in the backline.
Yeah, jack of all trades, master of potentially some. As we can see, not Ken just trying to make sure that Hagashi can't get onto the backline again, and that Sanctuary, that Kankai Sanctuary already invested on that high ground, going to be running out very quickly. Just allows them a little bit of a reprieve, but Dawes jumping out a bit early is going to go down low. Going to need to invest that, and Arco being Ajax, or well, Juno Jax, I guess, taken out, and you can see that they've invested a lot into this. Silvertools gets one with that Annihilation, but off the back of one ultimate on the other side. Yes, they have invested both support ultimates over this fight, but taking out Arco before that raid can happen is absolutely huge, and it's going to take this first flashpoint in the favor of MBS.
Of course, in typical Cobalt fashion, we get a Sun Tzu quote in chat, despite contributing absolutely fucking nothing to that team fight, apart from mental warfare. It's going to put them up 1-0. Not Ken on the Venture. It's just about, I think, direction and, diversion. Attention is a resource in this game, and Ken can buy a lot of it, which opens up the gap for Twist. on the Emray, and they're going to have to, because Ronin had a hell of a last map, remember, on this Emray, and if you're MDS, you have to be determined to not let that continue.
Speaking of distractions, Mina just going chase me to Silverthorn does get the kill, but immediately
Yo,
the tank's
Costume.
presence gone, and once more they're trying to fight into this with 3 ultimates on the other side. Again, I mean, taking out that Ray really helped situations there. You can see Hagashi trying to make sure that Mina can't get back to the rest of the team, but the care is there from Cobalt to make sure that that is going to be the case. Now, not Ken going to be the next target of Hagashi with this pulse bomb. Both override protocols invested as well. The battle for the skies is in full effect, but neither of them able to find a kill. Hagashi able to find Cobalt though with that pulse bomb. Now in the 5v4, trying to find something back here is Doors. Trying to put the team on the back once more off the back of this annihilation. Able to find 2. Both supports going down on either side. Mina taken down by Hagashi. This Tracer is trying to carry everything on his back, but just about able to stay alive is not Ken. Just about able to get away around the corner. Hagashi's hunting for that kill, but Dawn's been able to find Silver Tools, and just about able to get back in time is Cobalt. That chain just making sure that Hagashi can't have more of an impact, and once more they're up to 90% here.
Yeah, another quote in chat. That's two quotes in chat dropped. One important chain hit. Let's keep a running count, shall we? But nonetheless, it was Dawes versus Hagashi, that fight. That's what we sort of saw in map 1 and 2, wasn't it? Dawes had a monster performance on King's Row. Hagashi now back in. We've got sort of all the stars of our first 3 maps, all those giga carries. And I think Ken, actually, to be fair so far, is doing a good job at keeping Hagashi a little bit more quiet, being able to sort of mark that Tracer in the way. I don't think it's the worst matchup in the world for the Venture. Unfortunately, when you're that good at Tracer that Hagashi is, it's not the easiest. It's not just a free win that you think it is, but Annihilation comes in, and if that's a free win, I mean, I don't know. If that isn't a free win, I don't know what is. Look at Silver Tools go, man.
Yeah, especially taking out both supports immediately, just the amount of sustainability that you're going to have over the other team, especially with that Annihilation staying up, it's going to be a little bit too much, and it allows you to have an uncontested Kitsune, knowing that it's not going to be there on the other side. Yes, you have the Kankai Sanctuary from Cobalt going into this next fight for this objective, but it's going to be a first fight that LeDucks Eternal are going to go into it with the objective in their hands. Inhagen now investing that Kitsune rush, trying to get some sort of momentum back in. Doors going down so low, the punches landing from Silver Tools, but the chain just about going to be able to keep Doors safe. That Bay, that chain just about making sure that Silver Tools couldn't get onto the back of Doors and find the kill. Now that Tidal Surge going to be invested.
We got the tank
and finds the tank immediately. Doors knocked down onto the ground. The knockout eventually going to lead to a kill, and Silver Tools cleaning up this objective. 3 on the fight for the tank. Arco going to take the last one from the hands of the Ramatra, but it looks like this third objective is in the hands of LeDucks Eternal, as we've seen Ronin switch over to the Cass as well, not favouring the Emirate anymore, but as they take a 2-1, at least they're still in Atlas.
Yes, absolutely. They are still in it, down and not out yet. And I think the Wu Yang is growing with confidence. It was a good contribution. We're seeing the fiery older sister of Onron stay very locked away, just not good enough to be played at this level, even a level below this. I just don't think that character is very good. But Wu Yang, on the other hand, has been very, very prevalent with that long range poke. Really offers a different avenue for main supports. They've got a little bit of mechanics about them, particularly with this falling rain perk. This triple ball makes it even easier to hit shots. Speaking of hitting shots, Hagashi goes down, and without their Tracer player, LeDucks are 5v4, and that feels a bit more than 20% if you're teamed on with Hagashi on Tracer. That feels more like it's 55-60%.
Yeah, it's going to keep them at bay for the moment, that shield. Just making sure that Twist can't find the kill with the Override Protocol, but it is going to secure the objective into the hands of Muni's delivery service, now knowing that they only need one more objective to fall into their favour before they are able to get over here. Not a big aura for Cobalt, despite spamming the Sun Tzu lines and missing that stun as well with Shane. Both Annihilations out on the objective, both tanks trying to stay alive as much as possible, but Silver Tools not able to hold up the hands for long enough as it gets just about to 50% here on what could be this final point of Atlas. It could be going to Muni's delivery service and holding serve once again.
it's a little bit of an old dump, right, for an MDS, but you've got the Kakai Sanctuary, and this basically is going to be the final fight, and there's only the Wu Yang and Tracer combo coming up. You can't exactly take a quick fight with the Sanctuary. So let's see. Muni's delivery service, though, I don't think they're favoured in the long fight, not in terms of economy, and in terms of actually just raw, generic composition in terms of numbers. I'm actually not sure either, but the Sanctuary is put down. And they're long away for it. Oh, Twist is nowhere near the Sanctuary. They might go down to Hagashi. And they live.
Yeah, but they've been able to draw Silver Tools in and does fall 1-1. It's going to be a stick, but the save is there from that Suzu and taken down. Mina trades it back out to the other side. Hagashi going down. Now Doors trying to hold out this objective, and that's exactly what happens with the help of Twist. Just about able to survive the dive of Hagashi, but at the end of the day, you are able to survive, and that is what means that they are able to get through. Twist and Doors being able to knock through that final objective, and it felt like it was Doors once more putting the team on his back. You can see that the numbers were fairly even, but where they were able to get one point win on those maps, those points, it was helping them.
Doors and Twist in particular, we got a little bit of the payback from Twist on that map against Ronin. Ronin had a poor showing on the Emre there, but you can't be 2018 Braun every map, you know? Sometimes the old hands hit and the angles just weren't quite there. Again, Doors showing that they really were the driving force of MDS. And it's important to say that as much as I do like rage bait Doors very regularly in any Discord server that we're in, they are like continuously criminally underrated and overlooked by these captains. They continue to be picked up for sub 60k and they continue to make it deep runs into the playoffs. This might be the second middle division grand finals in a row that Doors has made. They did very well on Aurora in BPL 7. So it's like three, I think we call them A+ tier, which is, you know, KL and BPL tournaments basically. It's like 3 tournaments in a row now where real but a couple of tournaments in a row where Doors has just been completely overlooked in favour of someone potentially more splashy, and they've gone for a good enough price and they are showing up when it matters. There's better tanks in this tournament than Doors, don't get me wrong. I think Zat had a monster performance and was really able to empower AR Death Blossom all the way up to their 3rd place spot. And I think Zat on tank, there's an argument that they are better, but they're not more reliable, they're not more consistent, and for some reason, Doors keep getting underlooked when teams that play with Doors on tank Avalanche, they play winning Overwatch, and ultimately, like, winning Overwatch is, you know, it's a lot better than losing Overwatch, let me say that.
Absolutely. And when you're looking at a format like this, it is value for money that is going to get you far in these tournaments, especially if you're able to lean on a player that you think you've maybe gotten on the cheap and make sure that, I mean, Doors has been carrying them for the 2 maps that they have won. You saw that 5-man elimination from from that annihilation to hold out on Kings Row first, and then you see back on the other side as a bit of a interesting situation of wins are pretty good. I like to be winning more than I like to be losing, but Muni's delivery service able to hold it 2-2-2, so back even in this grand finals. And yeah, it is value for money. It is really a lot of help in these situations where you are able to invest into some of those bigger, pricier hit scans and situations like that, and you're able to take the cheap on the tank and they still deliver for you in these situations where you really need it most. And you've got to say, for Ronin, yeah, you do have a bit of a fall off. The thing is, if you're able to drop 47 kills every single map, you would not be in middle division, you would be right there in the uppers and potentially trying to fight for something even further. But you're able to get
you'd
back.
be in the big leagues, bro. Like
Absolutely.
Chris TF would be calling your name, you know, like the big leagues are calling. You're out here in the minors averaging like a 0.635 batting average, like under 1.2 ERA. You're going to the big leagues, bro. Like why yeah, exactly. Like why are you out here, you know, why are you out here pitching in AA? Like get up to the big leagues already, you know? That's about as much baseball knowledge as I can rip off the top of my head.
Well, the M rate is going to be banned from LeDucks Eternal. So after the fall off
Okay.
of Ronin, they're deciding, yeah, no, we don't want that at all. We've seen Twist dominate it on the other side. And as we go into push, which I believe is going to be a ban of New Queen Street going over to Colosseo instead, getting
Based.
banned out
Boo.
from the other side. And
Wrong
yeah,
European map. Wrong European push map. Boo. Worst European push map. I don't like Colosseo. I think it's really like. To be fair, once they removed the glass, once they literally removed the
it's
glass,
better.
it's yeah.
We still
Like
could be here for 5 hours in the bowels of the Colosseum trying to make it through that one tunnel and see if one team can actually win a team fight or not. But
what's
I
the
mean,
is it the Tyler Creator song? It's like "Don't Tap the Glass" or whatever that one. Like once they tapped the glass, it became an infinitely better map. Luckily, yeah. Actually, I should like low-key lock in because we're at 2-2, aren't we? So like
yeah,
we've now got a best of 3 on our
yeah,
hands.
a best of 3 for the series. The first pick is going to go to LeDucks Eternal at this point, but
Yeah,
you've only
you
got
can't
3
draw.
maps
You
left
can't draw.
in
You can't
maximum.
draw pushes. Yeah, you can't draw a push as well. So
We
one of
can,
these teams.
technically can.
Yeah, but like in the same way that like if my mother had wheels, she would have been a bike. You know, like
Yeah.
the the good old. It's a really old British TV show quote. It's a really old quote, that one from an Italian, believe it or
Yeah, I
not.
was going to say it fits into
Fittingly,
Colosseo.
yeah,
Just make sure that the guy it was said about isn't anywhere near this stream. But I mean, we should be heading into Colosseo very soon, as
true.
we are working the night shift here, and it is getting into the crazy hours as if we weren't here already with some of the quotes that
Yeah,
we've been coming out with on the stream. Towards this career, we're going
looking
back.
at Australia. Okay. Um, yeah, somehow came second with a team that I was on. Played on Nightmare 2, did really well on tank there. Um, very mixed results for Doors. Definitely has done a lot better in KL events than they have done in BPL events. But that first on Wallaby Warlords was pretty good. And honestly, like Doors getting a grand finals appearance, a win with Wallaby Warlords, a win with Rebel Hearts, last Kitsune League as well. That might have been season 3. I don't know if I don't know. Some of the Kitsune Leagues admittedly blend together. Just because of the timings of them. They're always after BPLs. BPLs for me are distinct. Kitsune Leagues kind of blend together. You know, as it literally is the lyrics to the Good Kid Premier Inn song. Like the seasons change, the walls remain. Like it's all
And
the same.
Hagashi remains as well,
The same,
finding
yeah.
that first kill onto Mooney. The trace about already winning, and you can see this back to this double flex competition that they were running on Lijiang Tower and running over the competition at the moment. Nothing that Doors can do to stop Inhagen back on that tank roll, bringing Databall back into play that Lucio, and you can see Doors already switching twists as well. They're going to be looking to slow down this composition.
You know, Avalanche, I believe wise Asian Monkey King Sun Wukong once said, we all die eventually, but some of us die quicker if we get one clipped by a tracer. And that's low-key what happened. Muni got completely exploded. The namesake of the team, unfortunately, falling early at the hands of Hagashi, the key player for LeDucks so far in most of these maps, and it's really given them an advantage. Push is so snowballing. They get 36 meters for free here. They're going to get to build up towards ultimates. Then they can take an ult fight. MDS, they can fall off the mountain really quickly. You know, the slope can really start to push them downhill if they don't lock back in and stabilize.
Yeah, but Mooney's been dragging down Inhagen into the depths. Delivery back to hell for that Ramatra. They're able to trade out with YZX, and the DPS here still trying to go big, but Door's able to shut down the rest of the team. It's only going to be the DPS and Arco left. Eventually, Hagashi, the last one standing, going to be trying to blink away, but once more they're able to trade out a lot of damage, and 2 minutes off the clock falls back into the hands of Mooney's delivery service. So they get their first push on their side of the objective. YZX trying to push back now. trying to get something back into this tunnel that we expected to see a little bit more of starting this fight, but at least we had a little bit of a reprieve here. But Mina shutting down Hagashi's. Arco invests that Kitsune Rush. Both sides now investing that Kitsune Rush, and Dateable not able to get out of the sights of Muni, doing exactly what was done to Muni in the first side and taking notes here.
It's why push can sometimes be so rough, right? Because MDS won that fight. They only got like a meter before LeDucks were able to contest, so they've got to commit more resources. Basically, their whole farm, the whole collection, the big shebang, just to get meters. But now there might be a chance that they can at least get somewhat up to the 37 that LeDucks were able to go. I wonder if they're going to rush out. Annihilation early pop from Minharden. Does he live? No, he doesn't. There's no sound barrier.
Have the sound barrier on the other side. You haven't built it up quick enough. Empty's been able to build that, and it's been able to flip it into the hands of Muni's delivery service once again, delivering TS1 to the payload. And you can see Inghagen deciding to switch things up. No Annihilation on the table anymore, but Hagashi's not able to get away. Mina just pushing forwards with doors. The tank trying to get back, and you can see this barrage not finding anything from Wisex either. The last back on the board is going to be Hagashi's Pulse Bomb. We've seen them land before, but it's going to need to be a big one to stop this momentum. Just stopping it before that payload can be found. Wisex finding Empty. Datable almost going off the board, but eventually going to be able to get back in here, and surely this should be cleanup, as it is going to be for LeDucks Eternal, making sure that forward spawn is just about... Oh, it's not even stopped. They do have forward spawn here.
Zarya Tracer Pharaoh seems like such an annoying set of three to deal with. Muni's delivery service. So the Zarya versus Orisa matchup real quick. Everyone knows in comp that you can just get Zarya a million energy because people don't shoot her bubbles correctly and they overshoot them or sometimes undershoot them. And the Zarya like kind of wins this matchup in isolation. But the heroes that MDS are enabled to play by the Orisa versus Zarya can end up really hurting the Zarya overall. She doesn't get much energy and then she just gets burst down without bubbles. It's a huge terror surge from doors, but nothing as of yet. Double ultimate force from LeDucks, so they're going all in.
Yeah, but Twist has been able to find Arco. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but you're only going to have Lucio healing for a little bit of a while. The bubbles not going to be able to sustain, and now with the Kitsune Rush coming back on the other side, the pace of play is going to flip to the side of Muni's delivery service. Not able to find the kills off the back of it, but they're able to get forwards off of that Kitsune Rush. Twist coming back from spawn now, being stuck in the other side of the point, but you can see that they don't want to aggress too far forwards. They know they have the lead here. They know they can keep the bot just about here, and even if they lose a team fight, they're able to get back on it.
Exactly, and Muni's delivery service, they just need to sort of play the win by one technique, you know? The same way, think about like how an AI would play like a game of chess, right? Like just need to win by one. They don't need to overpush. They don't need to put 4 ults into a fight. They are winning right now. The longer every second that this clock ticks down, Avalanche, is a second that Muni's delivery service are winning the fight. Not only are they winning the fight, all their damage is backloaded. The grab comes in from doors, the beat's on top of it, but we force resources and we're going to burst through it. Are we? No? Maybe yes.
They find it eventually. It's just not enough to keep them alive, and Dawes is trying to get something out of here, but Hagen's going to be able to keep that energy on deck as well. And now you can see they're going to be able to push their objective at least a little bit, try and pressure the forward spawn that has been found on the other side, and I don't believe they've been able to push past this, so the draw is still on the board. Dawes now going to be looking to find something from the backline and try and take these kills where you can find them, but it's going to be a lot onto Dawes and Muni to be able to find something here, as Hagashi trying to find everything else. Twist down to 4 HP, not able to get out of the sights of Wisex. Eventually, it is going to be the splash damage that deals the deaths. Hagashi able to find Muni once more as well, and now it looks like the forward spawn barrier is going to be in the sights of LeDucks Eternal as they look to hold serve. They're going to be able to get this forward spawn objective here. Dateable finding the final kills and forcing Muni's delivery service back to spawn.
Yeah, both teams get the butt scratch. They've got like literally 0.5 meters to go do LeDucks, and I actually don't mind the change. It was a bit risky to go over to a composition that won slowly when you are down a fight or two with time under like 4 minutes left, right? But you know once you get that time, that was a Luau pulse bomb if I've ever seen one.
It absolutely was. Twist able to find one, but the trades out are good. It's still back and forth here as Empty's able to find the opposite number, but Doors
Harden's
going down
alive, so
is going to be spelling doom, and Hagashi is still there as well. It's not going to be enough to stop this snowball that has started now. It's not the one from the first couple of fights, but they've been able to get back that momentum. And if you subscribe to Avril's Law of Push, that 100-meter mark has been broken, and you'd say LeDucks have a real ascendancy with 2.5 minutes left on the clock.
yeah, it's going to be very difficult. Now when they have the lead, their composition that already took time to win becomes even better because they can play slow, they can stall out these fights, they can let themselves get a natural resource lead. Doors has gone over to the Zarya. When you're playing against the Zarya with energy, any matchup is playable, particularly with time on your side. As I've said, it's just a solar barrage, but it's good enough. Why is that doesn't even need to go this deep? Yep, you don't need to go this deep. Like, you're already winning the fight. Boom, you isolate Doors, bang, Doors dead. Now you're 3v5. Empty has to leave. Are we going to see a British Lucio die on the wall mid-fight yet again? No, we are not. We're good.
Oh, we see Muni die instead, though, and Arkan's still trying to get that Tracer killed and make sure the namesake of the other team is going to be delivered back into the ground. Now the ground is going to be there. It doesn't find anything initially. The beat is there to make sure that players that do eventually fall inside of it are going to be able to stay alive. Now they try and aggress back in. Arco forced TP away, Twist back onto this. Sojourn is going to be doing a lot, but they managed to pen in this composition here into this little room towards just about surviving. Not going to be enough.
Oh my god, no way.
Able to take down 2, and somehow they've been able to find these kills. They're going to back off here into what I believe is
crazy brawl
of the other team, but somehow they're able to win out that fight.
I think realistically they run into a tight room when Doors doesn't have form anymore. You're against a Pharah and a Zarya with right click in a tight room, so your whole team is just getting cleaved. Data Ball comes in with I think an amp heal that just about pushes their HP above the kill thresholds, but Wisex and Hagen basically play like they're dead anyway. They're saying, okay, I'm just going to do as much splash damage as we can on the way out, and they get it. MDS, they basically just tunnel, they dig themselves their own grave. As I said, tight room. Muni's delivery service, they got to get active. That's one way of doing it. This should be a free fight win. Yeah, you can't really, as a Zarya comp, play against the Annihilation, specifically the Kitsune rush. Honestly, if I'm Arco there, I'm not even committing. I'm not even committing Kitsune rush, but I get why they did it.
Yeah, but you can see they've only got 10 seconds left on the clock now. The time has been burned down. They don't even have the ball on their own objective. Doors is down low, has to leave it over to Muni to carry the flame as you see Hagashi still stuck in the backline, going to be looking to be a thorn in the side as the rest of the team tries to get forwards. Hold that from Muni. The pillar is not going to see that one coming, and even though Wisex goes down 1-for-1 trade, the tank presence has gone for Muni's delivery service, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to deliver this bot forwards. It's all going to be in the hands of Twist with this overclock, but surely he can't do that much, and no, Inhagen's going to shut it down. It is going to be holding serve once more. The LeDucks Eternal get 2 match point in this middle division grand final.
There we
go. Look to see this out.
Yet again, it's just a game where the DPS from MDS really struggled to get going. I think because of this time the tank pressure that was put on. Wisex has himself a little bit of a tidy map, but you can see the damage numbers across the board. Like Hagashi's damage is really low because Wisex and Hagen were doing it all. Realistically, the Pharah gets played the whole map, but once the Zarya comes in, it helps. It wasn't just the fact that you get the counter pick swap. It's that normally the Zarya wants to play like quite slow, but you can playing the Orisa into it can sometimes, when the Zarya is at low energy, it's fine, right? Because you can enable good poke characters with the Orisa to punish the Zarya, like Sojourn, like Kiriko. Well, Kiriko's always played, but like Sojourn, for example, is a perfect point, is a perfect hero for that scenario. But when you're playing the Pharah, you're already playing slow. Like, you're not going to look to dive bomb on them because you're just going to die. That's not how Pharah really plays. You can throw just rockets. Wisex again playing it almost like a tank shredder, but they're able to get bubble for the barrage. They're able to play slow, and it's with that playing slow that you're forced to, because of the Zarya, that completely changes the tempo of the map. And that allows LeDucks Eternal to slowly crawl back into the lead. And then once they get the lead, they don't even need to go to 134. They just naturally did because the Zarya energy had built up, because they had ult advantage. It gets all the way to 134. And once they're over that 100-meter mark, as you said, it's kind of wrapped up because it's just too big of a mountain for MDS to climb with like 2 minutes left.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some ridiculous push maps in my time. If anyone hasn't seen it, Veneer Quick versus, I believe it was Here for Views. There's about 140 pushed on one side. The other team spent the entire map getting back to the other side, took the lead by about 13 centimeters, and then the other team pushed back in overtime and won it anyway. It looked like they had it confirmed from the first couple of team fights, and it goes back the other way entirely. So, I mean, you're not safe on 100 meters, but with how far they were into the map, it felt like they were safe, and it didn't really feel like Mooney's delivery service had a way back in to be able to get these
Gives
kills that they
you
needed. They were able to get one team fight, but at the end of the day, it comes back the other side. You've got Hagashi back in the back line, only the last 2
PNR
minutes of the matter.
theory.
I mean, the thing is,
That's
it was done before the last 2 minutes were even there. You get over to 130, and yeah, it's definitely done at that situation. But even when they got past that forward spawn, it felt like the momentum was with them entirely. And as soon as they got into the lead, they really never looked like they were going to give it up.
Yeah, I think PNR is like low key correct there because the 2 minute mark is around about where you get maybe one or two ultimates left. You can slowly build that comeback. Even if you're like very ahead in those last 2 minutes, you know that okay, it's 2 minutes. Like if we've got maybe let's say a 134 to 60-meter lead, we know that like basically any time that they push it to neutral, as long as we push it back towards our bot, then they basically waste a fight, right? So if you've got control of the bot, they're going to walk it back to neutral, like middle of the map. Then you win a fight, you're going to push it back to about 75% of where you had it pushed already. That's two fights. They're down ultimates. That's about a minute wasted, maybe, and ultimately for no progress. So that's the important thing. It's that going even in fights when you have a lead and you have bot control is super, super, super OP. Push is the most interesting mode. I think the most interesting thing, push theory, the way that fights work, the idea of just deliberately dropping fights, sandbagging fights for later gain for economy. As Tapatology said, economy doesn't matter. And it's weird to think an American doesn't know how economy works, but of course they don't. Um, yeah, man, it's like I could autistically yap about it. I could write like 200 pages on it, bro. I think push is like the most interesting mode they've got in Overwatch. Definitely the most interesting one they've added. It's a real thinker, particularly at this level where there isn't much between players.
Yeah, but without looking to the past, we'll look to the future now as we look towards this control point. And I'd say if you want to stay in this full Mooney delivery service, I'd either say you ban out the Pharah or ban out the Tracer. As I want to get a quick shout out to Wisex and the player that took over the map there on the Pharah, just
Yup.
silently able to deal out a massive amount of damage. And you can see the history been around for quite a while. And a couple of wins out there as well. A couple that haven't quite come through, but there's a lot of points on there to be able to find some good results.
So
And
for reference,
it's a good
for
time.
ref for reference, by the way, Avalanche, every team here that you see 5 to 6 or below is basically a Jace team apart from Silly Squad. Low key. Here's the thing: is the rivals tournament, which we absolutely pissed on. So we did in fact win that one. Um, but Heartbreakers, Butterfly Effect, Ramatra Ranch, The Occult, Bob Air Polska, and then there'll be some other ones as well. They are all Jace teams. Unfortunately, he has a life sentence in the Jace team prison, but it is good to see him every now and again remind people that, yeah, the guy's quite good at Overwatch and is a little bit more flexible than you think. Um, and yeah, I don't know. Like the one thing I will say about Wisex after playing with him for so long is that sometimes he can just like fuck it, pick up a hero and like really perform on it when you least expect it. Like I know he's been playing more of the Pharah recently and probably has been playing it for a bit longer in KL, but it wasn't something that was really in the wheelhouse for a long time. I would say. Even when Farah was good, definitely more preferred the Genji, more preferred the Hanzo, more preferred even the Tracer, but sometimes to that Farah, sometimes the Echo as well. But the bird has been annoying for MDS today. Particularly, it feels sometimes that like the MDS hit stand is pinned, right? If you know what I mean. Like it's literally
Yeah.
like they're forked in the equivalent of chess. Like, okay, you got to capture on a king, or a capture on the queen, or a capture on the bishop. Like which one do you want? Do you look at their Farah or do you look at their other hit stand? Well, they're both going to be looking at you, and you have to look at both of them. And unfortunately, you can't be in two places at once. So either your other hit stand isn't being contested or your flex DPS isn't being shot out of the sky like they should do, because that's your job. And it's hard to do in a grand finals when it's your responsibility, and your tank is taking a lot of damage and requires the resources as well, because their tank is the one that's being peppered whilst they're not shooting at you. So it's a simple concept, but it's one that is very difficult to navigate in practice.
Absolutely. And I mean, you've got eyes on the skies and eyes on the ground, as the air and ground assault is going to be put to pay for LeDucks Eternal. We go over to control once again as we wrap back round our map pools, and I believe that we have some bans through, and yeah, we have a ban out of Samoa. After Nepal was banned earlier, we just had a bit of a check to see if that could happen again, and it can't, is the judging of the rule book. So it is going to be Nepal available, but we'll see what MDS do decide to do as they look to cling on to life here in this grand finals, set up that final game 7. And I mean, we've heard about game 7 Bron before. We'll see if
We
they're
have
able
heard
to
about
do it again.
we have heard about LeBron game 7. Yeah, for some reason, people think LeBron going 4-10 in the finals is worse than Jordan going 6-6 in the finals, but I'm not here to have that debate. Fuck Adam Silver. That's all I'm going to say. Just fuck Adam Silver. Like, fuck that guy. Bad human being. I'll say no more. So we've got the map pick. Control the first time was won by LeDucks, right?
Yes, it was. That Lijiang Tower, the first map that we went to, was the one to take LeDucks Eternal into the advantage in the serve hold, and they have been able to hold serve this whole time so far.
Both teams have, right?
Off the back of this. Yeah, everything going
Oh.
towards the map picks, apart from that first one, which technically was a Muni's delivery service pick, but
Yeah.
with everything on the table, it was a little bit difficult to see which way it was going to go. But I believe we go back to control now, and with Farah taken off the ball, it is going to be Wisex nerfed a little bit, but you can see a big ban out.
Not even be in.
They take out doors, and Nepal is where we are going to. Banned out first, but not going to be banned out forever, as it is going to be MDS trying to take us back to the sanctity of Nepal and stay in this matchup, forcing the game 7.
Yeah, so what does the tennis theory say about like when we get into control? Because I feel like the idea of these other maps is they're all so different that you can prepare strategies on them. And over time, the natural high grounds, the stipulations, the hero viabilities mean that you can build up a gradual advantage. And it's the unfamiliarity, right? Like you've scrimmed Atlas more than they have because maybe they've not played it that much this season. It's particularly relevant in like BPL 8, which we will see over the course of time because maps are like completely random through the regular season, and I honestly hate it. Wisex is out. Clearly, they feel that Hardishi and Ronin are good enough as a 1-2, and I think they absolutely should be. Now, Control is the Zarya mode, I feel like, currently, and Zarya is open. Both teams have had the ban for it, so we're going to have to see Doors play the Russian lady. No Farah though, so it makes it a lot easier for Doors. Obviously, there's no Farah being played.
For Dateable. It's so not going to be easy for Dateable, and now with Doors able to find those couple of kills, yeah, the 1-2 punch does get a couple of things back. Hagashi's trying to find everything here, but the only one left standing on the objective, full health, trying to find another kill, but the bubble is going to be there to save not Ken just for now. Hagashi shoved away, and it is going to be first objective control for Muni's delivery service. And I think in terms of what you were saying about tennis theory, yeah, we've seen some jewels on the baseline. This is full on serve and volley, full on aggression in this situation. Hagashi's going to be looking to target those overhead smashes into the backline, even hit him over the head with a racket if you really need to. But Inhagen trying to get some aggression back once more. It is going to be more difficult for them to engage here as the doors. Zarya is going to have a lot of charge as well. They've been able to build up to that 100% on both sides, as now it seems fairly neutral. The ultimates are going to start to come in fairly soon. Twist down low as Ronin tries to find that posted grenade once more over the top. The 3-bomb from Twist, and now it goes into the favor of LeDucks Eternal. It's going to be a trade out, and they're able to take down Ronin, but at the end of the day, you have a Kitsune rush invested? Did you need this?
I mean, you probably definitely didn't need it from Arco. You're worried because I understand it, though. I understand it. Even though Doors dies, this team is very durable.
You're losing Hagen at the end, though.
Losing in Hagen is bad because you lose your energy. So that's one of your natural snowballs that completely expires. But even with the Kitsune rush, look how much extra time Muni's delivery service got. That's like 15%. That's relevant. Would you trade Kitsune rush for 15% back? I mean, maybe you think, but even with it committed, Muni's delivery service still stall out a hell of a long time. And Hagen just rips the grav, bro.
Yeah, but you can see that the sound barrier's been built up by Empty, and on the other side it's not been there. Doesn't save Mina though. Ronin able to find the third kill, immediately traded out by Twist. There's no help for Inhagen now, trying to get away from the rest of the team, having to drop down, but it leaves the rest of the team at the mercy of Doors. Yeah. Everyone else falling down. Inhagen able to get back to full health, but it's only going to be Elucio and Azaria desperately trying to get away from the rest of the team, and Inhagen is going to be staggered out. 72% now for Muni's delivery service, and both teams looking at an override protocol now.
I think, dare I say it, that Muni's delivery service are playing the quicker tempo version of Zarya way, way better. Looks like Inhagen's really slow with these bubbles, and a couple of times their rotation has just been away from the team, and it looks like Inhagen's almost being forced out, and then Muni's delivery service, when that Zarya walks away, they're just walking on the rest of their team. So they're going to be a bit more tight in these rotations, make sure they play around that Zarya, play with them, because they're getting isolated, they're getting split, and it's allowing Muni's delivery service to just look past the Zarya, ignore them, and kill the rest of their team. As we're seeing there, Twist doesn't get the bubble from Doors. Doors gets out on energy at least. Though. Yeah, it's worth, right? Like, it doesn't matter.
The only thing online now is the Pulse Bomb, and you can see as well with the fact that they're playing the Symmetra, they're just able to death ball forwards. You're relying on Hagashi to get into the backline, but where they're able to play as a 5 here and just rush forwards, it's not really the picks that are going to be allowed for Hagashi. Is going forward is going to allow that health pack to be taken. 100% charge now for Doors, trying to get round the corner, and now Hagashi has a target in his sights. Ronin finding the first, and eventually this death ball does collapse. The lamination on the death ball has gone, and now as it gets over to 3/4 of the way through for LeDucks Eternal, it's a fight on their hands now, as no ults online just yet for Muni's delivery service, but this grab could be huge.
Yeah, I don't know if, I think the MDS snowball and the death ball definitely is working. It just feels like their cooldowns are just running out, and they're not winning the fight quickly enough. Because once their turn, once their ability goes, like Hagashi is popping up massively.
Doesn't find enough though. They've managed to take down Doors, but the rest of the threat's still there, and the grab is able to do everything. The dying presence of Doors to the rest of the team was able to get everything they needed, and it is going to be a flip over. 99% for both teams. Inhagen immediately switching over to that Wrecking Ball, but do you even have a touch here? No! Dateable trying to rush out from that spawn, trying to get away, but straight into the sights of Twist, and Twist is going to take that every single day of the week. A first objective there for Muni's delivery service as they try to get themselves back on level terms into a map 7.
Yeah, it looks like again it's Ken and Doors versus Hagashi and Inhagen on this sort of 1-2, and Doors and Ken are, they're kind of doing the look. I think LeDucks have to adjust now with this comp, because one of the worst feelings as Zarya is you have a comp where it feels like you really should just be on something that isn't Zarya. You can obviously use all the bubbles yourself when you're playing Tracer, Emre, right? But what you don't want to get is that ran at by two people, the Zarya and another DPS, just running at you, walling you, beaming you with Sim, shooting you with Reaper. It's so hard to play. You have to play it so different. And honestly, it's really difficult. It's also unfun, which means it's tilting, right? So here we go. Look, the wall comes in, and oh my god, we are just we're a brigade of all stacked on our Zarya.
Two wrecking balls running straight at each other, even though the hamster isn't here. It's exactly what we're seeing, and I mean, it's basically like conkers. You're hoping that you can smash against the other team and be able to break down their walls before they're able to make sure that yours go down. But in Hagen going down early,
they just split target.
The Muni's delivery service.
Yeah, we saw a phenomenon in BPL a while ago, basically Avalanche. The way I'll explain it quickly before this fight starts is one team would amp speed and the other one would amp heal, because they didn't need to amp speed because the team that amp speed just ran into them. So you've used amp speed to get to the fight, we've used amp heal to stay in the fight, so we're gonna win. Pretty much that's what happened in that last fight. Muni's delivery service, like, they didn't need to use their cooldowns to close the distance because LeDucks did it for them. They walk into you.
So low.
Your cooldowns are way better. Look at Twist continuing to fish on this Emre.
Yeah, you can just sit here and farm on the Emre. Door's going down a little bit low, but has the bubble to be able to survive here. Ronin trying to force some pressure, and the Kitsune rush there on the right-hand side as they look at it. They flip the map here. They've been able to take the objective, but are they going to be able to
point and chill?
This Kitsune rush is going to be unmatched on the other side when it is built up. The override protocol as well, trying to find some targets here. Arco down low, has to invest the TP to get back away and not able to get in here, but they are penned in, and they're going to try and force themselves out.
Oh, huge grab
from Doors. Finding everyone, they all fall down.
Grab.
Team kill bell rolls out, and my word, beautiful.
Fantastic grab. Like, once they're all stacked in that room, you just right-click them as much as possible. The minute they walk out, they are just getting grabbed, and all of them are in there. LeDucks, I think they made the right rotation initially. Just the natural counterplay is that ultimate, and sometimes that's just how it is. Muni's delivery service, they're still in a great position to take this map, even after losing Doors so early.
Yeah, you can't fight into this Kitsune rush. They're going to kite it and make sure that it expires before they take these fights now, pushing forwards. Hagen building up to that Blizzard, just about going to be here, but in Hagen going down low. It doesn't matter if you can find the right clicks of Hagen. That damage from the Icicles taking Twist head clean off, and now Doors trying to fight in once again. Going to be stuck in this room. Do you have the bubbles here to get out?
Oh, yes, bad Blizzard actually. Bad Blizzard. The wall from Hagen wasn't good enough. If that wall cuts Doors off, then even after a bubble, yeah, I think Hagen just gets a little bit antsy. They ripped the Blizzard too early, and now there's nothing to stop this walk and nothing to stop this grab from Hagen though.
Well, you have the sound barrier. It's invested from both sides. Databall's invested as well, but in Hagen goes down. Get that Kitsune rush invested. They're still going to be able to use the speed here, but it's not going to be able to tell the tale of a difference. Hagen going down
map 7
more, and the full charge is here. I mean, yeah, it looks like it. Left, right, and center. Twist is going to have that override protocol to keep them at bay. At the Doors here as well. They're already being chunked down as they try and move forwards. Doors is going to be isolated here. Has to be careful. The Suzu's thrown in from deep, but yeah, the kills do come out in the end. In Hagen not going to be able to survive. The grab is out on point. Nowhere for Hagen to go. The Tracer can't blink away from that one. The override protocol finally the final kill onto Arco. It is going to be us going the full distance, as it is going to be a map 7 here. Doors bringing the team kicking and screaming with a couple of beautiful grabs forwards. Twists as well, a star of the show on this point, and not Ken. I mean, the full 5 really showing out there, and this is a situation where on a lot of these maps we've seen one player be the one to do everything, but now you look back at it and that was a full 5 going off in that situation, so they're still going to be able to go into this with momentum. And I mean, if you're Muni's delivery service, you want to be given LeDucks eternal flashbacks to the last time that you played not Escort, the last time you played Hybrid, because they weren't even able to get a single tick on that first objective. Where is Cobalt? Cobalt's going. Cobalt's chilling,
Game
chanting
where
some
is where is
quote.
Cobalt? Bro is the cheerleader. Your backline is empty and Mina. Do you want Cobalt in a game 7, Laser? I don't think so, bro. Hello. Fucking tell him to go. Oh, I can't obviously quote the full tweet because there's a word in there that I can't say as a white European. But during the basketball Olympics, there was someone tweeted a picture of Jason Tatum and said, hand Bam Adebayo a water. If you're Cobalt right now, honestly, just yeah, hand Dawes a water bottle, bro. Let him cool off, let him rest, hand him a water bottle, give him a Gatorade, and get back on the bench, buddy. Get back in your suit jacket and cheer those boys on. You ain't coming in for game 7. That's not you. Real
Yeah.
talk, no, their backline has been so good all season, all season and all series that whilst Cobalt did come in and win his map, I think the Lucio Kiri is just unfortunately so perpetual. I will die and Lucio Kiri will still be playable. It's only going to be in a couple of years because I'm old, but I will die. I will leave this earth. Me and my wife will leave this earth before Lucio Kiri gets nerfed and is not played basically 95% of all places. So, Blizzard World for our map 7. Avalanche, who have you got as a favourite going in? Because it has been so even throughout this whole series.
I think it really depends here on how much Dawes can put the rest of the team on the back and take him to glory. I think Blizzard World, I'm so glad that you banned out Paraiso because I really did not want to see that map, and I really do not want to see it ever if I come against it in ranked games. No chance if I come up against it here. Not really the biggest fan, but Blizzard World is going to be the map 7, our theatre for our finals, as it is now down from a best of 7 to a best of 1. Whoever takes this is going to take the series, and a lot of big bans have been taken out as well. I have a slight favouring towards MDS. I think they're going to be able to break serve and take it across the line, but Jace, how are you looking at things?
I'm not sure. I think that the tank matchup on this one is not going to translate over from the last map because on the last map we saw that the more aggressive, the more W key focused, the more aggressive style of Zarya was way better from Dawes than it was from Inhagen. Being able to build those grabs quickly as well. Dawes just looked way more comfortable gung-hoing it, pressing W with their team compared to Inhagen, who I think maybe wanted to play a little bit too slowly. It's sort of more similar to how I play Zarya, but that's old muscle memory sort of kicking in. I think Inhagen at that time maybe wasn't aggressive as enough, particularly with some of their grabs as well. Dawes just looked way better on it. But then we saw in the previous map, we saw how much value Inhagen got on the Zarya. Sometimes when you've played a character like Zar for a while, you're actually not as versed in the mirror because you're not used to playing it in the mirror, right? Because you're on Zarya when they're on a good hero. But obviously Zarya has been a lot better recently, so people don't have that much to catch up on if everyone is playing the Zarya mirror. What heroes are open for this last map? Farah's open for LeDucks. We've got Emre open for MDS. Ram is open for MDS. Lucio Kiri is open for both sides. I think the supports from MDS have been better. I would say the DPS from LeDucks have been slightly better, and the tank from MDS has also been better as well. And whilst Ken has had some monster maps too, Avalanche, I think it really has been fine margins between these players so far, and I thought this was going to go 7 maps. I assumed so, and yeah, 2.5 hours in, about to hit the 3-hour mark on this broadcast. Let's go. Woo!
Yeah, we'll see what
Whee!
these teams are able to do. And as we're feeling the fatigue, these players are going to be feeling the fatigue as well. It's not going to be as perfect as it was on Lijiang Tower. Everything's going to be a little bit slower. Everything's going to be a little bit different. Maybe we'll see a fat finger. Maybe we'll see some sort of Ajax situation out from one of these teams. But as we're waiting on the bans, we're just going to have a little bit through here. And I wonder if LeDucks Eternal are going to try and ban out a DPS just to make sure that the Tracer can't be taken away from this 1-2 punch and go back to that Farah Tracer as something that you could decide to go to, or even I mean, God forbid. I've seen it already once today, casting out in EU. The Jetpack Cat Bastion on this map. It has been favored in certain situations, and we've seen it
I mean,
already
it
at
makes
least
it
once
makes
on the
sense.
Ducks Eternal.
It makes sense. Like the good niche that Jetpack Cat has is obviously you're not going to be able to do much with that airlift, with that lifeline form. But like the way that the maps are designed, like Eichenwald second, Havana third, Blizzard World second, these maps are so long for the defenders, they're so defender focused, you struggle to take high ground, that being able to push cart, to pressure them to rotate, and then cheat it by going back up is interesting. LeDucks do not opt to keep Tracer open, so Hardashi, who's been arguably their most impactful DPS, is not going to be
Are they
available
forcing
to
empty
play
out?
Tracer
Are they
for
forcing
this.
empty out because the Lucio's gone?
They might. They might be. I think LeDucks have honestly struggled to play Lucio Kiri. They've been, I think, heavily outvalued in the battleline all series. It's going to allow a Brig to come out, or Brig or Juno to come out from Data Ball, which is definitely something that they can play. I think Data just doesn't have the experience that Empty does on Lucio. Just there's definitely like a gap there.
I
Lucio
will
and
say
Kiri, just the natural heroes of Mina and Empty compared to it doesn't look like it's natural for Arco and Dateable. If it is, I apologize. Then it's a simple case of they just haven't been as good, which is
Yeah,
fine.
they've not been at the races so far, but you can see the Tracer ban being held until this final map could be monumental. We've seen how much work Hagashi's
Europe.
been able to do so far. And where I was talking about this Cat Bastion composition, one of the other things that goes through it crucially is you need someone to sweep up those kills that you don't quite get with the turret form. And that is what you want from your Tracer. That is exactly what the Tracer is in that composition to do, to be able to go up and hoover out those low targets. And you can see Hagashi coming in and not being with us for too long, but already stamping a claim as a very good Tracer player. It's going to be forced off that star flex DPS role onto something else and trying to make it work here as we go into map 7.
Yeah, we saw this one already earlier in the series, but just a reminder as well, Hardashi, strong candidate for Rookie of the Year if they ended up winning it. Actually, the award's already out. As I said, to be honest, I've not been as tapped into KL this season, but it's been an absolute banger of a map finals. Here we go.
Cobalt. Is Cobalt
Cobalt's
coming back?
career.
Because you can see that Empty might be taken away with that Lucio being taken out. Do they decide to bring Cobalt back in? Cobalt is in. Then we were asking where Cobalt is. Cobalt's coming in for map 7, not just
Okay.
handing the water over to Doors. Going to be playing in that
Damn.
front court 5 for this final matchup, trying to block out LeDucks, make sure that LeBron can't dunk on them on this final map. And you can see as well, Silvertool's coming back in, I assume, as well. Going to be trying to get some sort of matchup back in a stalwart of these competitions, as you can see, back to 2022. So been with us in these situations for a long time. We should be heading in soon, and I can hear that victorious triumph of Blizzard World in the background. I am gonna love this final map. This is what we've been building for the entire of this season of Kitsune League Middle Division. It all comes down to this final map. Will it be Muni's delivery service, or will it be LeDucks Eternal taking the crown? Here we go.
Here we go for all the marbles. I'm just finding the exact tweet to post in another Discord. I think it's funny.
Why is X on Junkrat? Please tell me
let
there's
him.
going to be a switch before walking out of spawn.
Nah, he plays Junkrat, bro. Let him cook. You can do a rollout on this map.
Game 7 Junkrat going to be going for the 3s, trying to find something. Not Ken's going to be trying to lock this down, though, on the Symmetra, having already been banned on the other side from LeDucks Eternal. Not something that they could save through. Ronin's going to be here, and it is going to be Hagashi out for this final map, so it is a
Raptors
bit
are
of a
so
switch
tough.
up here. That's interesting. Raptors are so tough. Love a bit of Raptors. That is my team, and we'll see if they are able to get it across the line as the Raptors were able to do back in 2019. Bit of sports knowledge for you. Wisex on the Hanzo, and Ronin back to full form that we saw on Havana, able to take the first kill and get that first dunk on the opposing hit scan. Silvertools on this interesting composition on the Sigma. They're still trying to build forwards as Cobalt trying to get damage back from the other side. I'm not sure about this, but we'll see how it goes. Doors still trying to break down this Sigma and break down the walls that they are able to build up. Ronin's down a little bit low, but so is not Ken on the other side. They're just trying to stabilize here, make sure the rest of the team can get back. Twist rotating into the backline, but immediately found out by Wisex. Once again, you are not able to peak that position. The Immortality field does go down, invested by Inhagen, but once more, they're just zoned out here as Doors is able to hold the point for now, but how long can one Zarya last? Not long enough.
Nope, they are just spammed out. The Cobalt, you know, the Devil shivers when Cobalt plays Wuyan. And unfortunately, they're going to have to get back into the freezer, get themselves a scarf or something and warm up. Cobalt now off the Wuyan onto the Juno, and the Life Weaver assumedly maybe said, "Can I go Life Weaver, guys?" And 4 people in the VC went, no. So he just watched Juno. So LeDucks.
Oh, he goes down immediately as well. Cobalt, come on, you can't be doing this in Game 7. Twist able to get away with the help of Mina, but once again, losing one of your supports so early in this fight gives up the high ground for free, and that's going to be amazing target practice for Ronin. This override protocol now online for
Ronin's having a
They've
map.
been able to take down Mina. They're just able to snowball here. They're able to take down one by one the support backline. It means that you can't have any pressure from Doors. Eventually just stop at the door. The security shoving him back away, and Cobalt and not Ken just having to get out of dodge.
I swear to God, man, like every time I play this map, I feel like a Sideshow in that one Chengdu stream versus the Titans, where I'm just like, all this free push, not the feed drive into warp speed, but just look at all this free push. Because it just is, it's just free push. Muni's delivery service. You know, nothing to contest, nothing. Ronin again gets another opening pick. He's having himself a map. That's 3 fights now. 2 of them he's opened it with a headshot onto Twist. Muni's delivery service, they better step up, bro. They better do something. They better bail their DPS. They better bail Twists out on the hit stand, because you know what? They might have actually done. Doors on the ever reliable, the humble Zarya, the Boston Uprising Zarya. Shout out Smurf. Shout out, I don't know who played Zarya on the Boston Uprising. Like Note? Out, no. Brucein? Like, I don't know. Dab Master will be able to tell you, because he's a nerd that doesn't go outside and can name every Overwatch League player ever.
As long as it's not the Kalush Zarya on this point from a couple of weeks ago, I think we should be fine. And there's still ultimates coming in here for LeDucks Eternal. 3 on this fight versus only a Kitsune Rush on the other side. The Dragon not going to be able to do too much apart from pushing Twist off of that high ground. We're able to get back that control. Is a space gaining ultimate. Now still 2 in the back pocket. Ronin going to be looking to invest this override protocol soon. Surely, but are you going to need it? Explosion onto Twist, but just about able to stay alive. They're trying to flip this back onto Silvertools, but I mean, that Tidal Blast Doors is done. Doors is absolutely obliterated. Mina's able to get one onto Wisex, but surely this should be the force through of this second checkpoint onto third. Twisted was fine Ronin, but immediately traded out by Inhagen, and now the Ray invested by Cobalt. They still want to fight this. They do have the spawn advantage here, and the Baptiste's going down low, but look out behind you. Silvertools saved the blushes of Cobalt there from Mina, the other support, making sure that Cobalt doesn't go down, and you can see just before that Flux got online for Silvertools, which could really have swung that in their favor.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a panic ult, but it also just forces LeDucks to back up, because they've got a chance to go again there, but the Juno ult completely shuts the door on it. With 1 minute 58, I don't completely hate it. This window might be able to be comboed with the Flux window from Silvertools.
Oh, but Tools finds it with the wall.
That's a miracle hazard kill that you think you would have thought you would have seen like cut out by you. Like sometimes hazard just does that, you know. Like not been able to do it recently because I think it's been really nerfed. But like that is just a hazard.png kill, isn't it? Like sometimes he'll just one shot someone. Like what happened there, man? Like we didn't see the replay, but like Ronin just fell over.
Overclock now
Ooh.
invested from Twist, trying to make sure to keep LeDucks Eternal at bay once more, and they have done fairly well to hold this second objective after how quickly that first one did fall. Back to 1 minute left, Ronin forced away from the rest of the team, but now the 4v4 on the rest of the objective. Ronin able to find Twists on the back away, and now fighting forwards once more is LeDucks Eternal. Silvertor still has this Gravitic Flux to invest, and Hagen has to be careful, kept alive by Arco on that Wu Yang. The Gravitic Flux does find not Ken, but it's not going to find the kill. They're able to stay alive here, and now they force back forwards. That Symmetra is going to be running rampant, and you can see just the downpour, just making sure that Silvertor's does fall. The rest of the team going to stay alive. Ronin gets himself. Doors,
holy downpour.
Doors, but the rest of the team is going to be there.
You know what, actually, I watched the Hallam varsity match earlier. I think it was Cody J on the side of the Hallam Hunters. A hell of a downpour that was pretty similar to that. Very, very similar. So, you know, art imitates art in that aspect. Doors now going over to the D.Va. Anything to try and smuggle, try and sustain the DPS. Though saying that, I actually think the D.Va into the Sigma is a lot better matchup than people think. I mean, it's D.Va, right? There's no Zarya on the enemy team, so D.Va is just probably the best tank in the game, particularly against spam backline. Oh, we're getting the float Sigma tech coming in.
Yeah, but Wisex trying to kill onto Twist, just about able to stay alive. Not Ken's turret is able to take out the Pharah eventually. Not something you expected to see. And with this Kitsune rush, Doors is going to be able to stay alive on the
Can he get Ray? Can he get Ray?
Ray has just about been invested. Can Doors get back in there? No! The mech does eventually go down, but Cobalt's been able to secure the kill there. Now the override protocol just about able to stay alive. Ronin trying to find something, but no, it's not going to be enough. Mina coming back on the cat, and
Cohen Doors, bro. Cohen Doors, bro.
The Ducks have been, they've gone for the dunk. It's been blocked at the rim, and that second objective just falls slightly through their fingers. Muni's delivery service do have that golden box of glory on that second objective. The question is, can they break down LeDucks' defense?
Yeah, big Juno ult. Doors was definitely putting up numbers, played so many different tanks throughout this series and showcased it again in this game. Played Hazard, played Sigma, played D.Va, played... Were they on Zarya for the first fight? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Doors is showing off the flexibility here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was just that Juno ult. And that's like a complete heartbreaker for LeDucks Eternal, right? Because you're thinking, oh my god, we're good. We just need to stabilize it. And then the Juno ult comes in and you're just like, ah, fuck. Like, we can't beat this, man. Ronin, again, having himself a little bit of a map. But with the 5 deaths, it's like quite a lot, actually.
Please don't mention that, Observer. Get him out of here. Go off that scoreboard. Get it out of here now. I don't want to see that on there. But Cobalt going 11-2 and Doors going 13-4 has been what's carried them through here at the moment.
Kill has more damage than Twist. Wait a minute.
Why would you do this to me, Luau? Oh, come on.
We're doing this because it's 6-7, not just Twist is negative. But low key, like, Twist is really struggled this series, I think. Luckily, the rest of his team have got him, and he's also been good enough. DPS is somehow the most impactful and the least impactful role at the same time. Don't question me about that. Cobalt has more damage because he is just playing a better DPS than Twist is. You can fight me on that one. Support is the most broken role in the game. It's for babies, nonetheless. Everyone loves their Fisher-Price role every now and again. Speaking of, the Wu Yang almost got picked off by, well, Emre, but, you know, from like 2019 whenever Baptiste got released. Twist, though, finds the opening pick.
Finding the kills. Okay. Yeah, they've been able to find everything here. And Hagen does get Twist down, but at the end of the day, the kills are going to be charging through for Muni's delivery service. They do trade out here, but it's going to be too little too late, as Silvertals is the last one to go down. This first objective falling quickly to Muni's delivery service, and they look to deliver that kill, those kills through. And this golden box of glory now, as Silvertools has had to switch over to the D.Va. The question is, can you stabilize here for LeDucks Eternal?
Bro, why are our OBS getting mind controlled by Cobalt saying give this a sniff? They've just capped Blizzard World second. He's going to be on cart for fuck's sake. He's on main support. Like, I know it's late, but like, he's literally on cart. That should be his job. It's fucking, can we grow up? Anyway, Yeah, Kenna's been a mainstay this series on Symmetra. I've sort of just, recognised that.
Something to
Hell
look
or
out
High
for, though.
Water. Hell or
Look at
High
that.
Water, he's on the sim, bro.
Mina's built Kitsune Rush now for this next fight, and it's not going to be answered by Arco on the other side. They are putting pressure here onto Cobalt, but the rest of the team is going to charge through onto the high ground. Mina finding two. A third surely will fall. Twist with that kill eventually. The cleanup is there. You can see that Silvertools wants to trade back desperately, but the Diva's not able to find anything. Surely the D-Mech comes through soon, and now there it is. Arco switched over to the Wu Yang. Cobalt back on the Mitsuki. What are we doing here? Silvertools has fallen into the drink just to get back into that mech a little bit quicker. You can see the rest of the team desperately trying to stay alive here without your presence of the tank, but they're going to be able to touch just about, but not for long. Vizex gets the touch, but no one else follows it up. The Denji dies immediately, and that's going to be all they wrote. Muni's delivery service. UPS first class delivery is gonna win it out in the end. Cobalt coming in for game 7, but look at Doors 21-4, and every single map that they have won, it feels like Muni's delivery service has been riding on the back of this tank. Ridiculous from Doors to be able to see out the series, and my word, what a series it was. Muni's delivery service, your champions for middle bracket Kitsune League Season 5.
Yeah, the Moon Crew do it again, empowered by some really good trades in the middle of the season. They ramped up into playoffs, but they were the team that made it through the upper bracket, and they keep it that way. As we said, they finally managed to break serve, I believe, going into this final series. Or did they break serve, or was it literally just tennis theory the whole time?
No, they broke serve. They were the one to lose that first map, and every single way it went back and forth on serve. That final broken serve falls to Muni's delivery.
Oh yeah, because they win 2 in a row. Yeah. Damn, there we go. What a hell of a grand final, though. That's one way to finish it out. I am exhausted, and I didn't even yap that much.
We
We'll
are
maybe
working
do
the
some
graveyard shift
interviews.
here,
So
Jace.
yeah, I don't even get paid for this. Oh my god, my battery is on 67%. All right, let's throw it to an interview while we get some winners in
Yeah, we're
here.
gonna have a quick break.
Congratulations once again to Muni's delivery service. Commiserations to LeDucks Eternal, but getting to the finals is still a very, very good feat. I think they literally did all that they could this series. They did really, really well. Sad for a couple of members of LeDucks Eternal as well. I would have liked to see Ronan and Wisex get a ring together. That would have been fire as hell. I love those guys. But yeah, commiserations. Let's throw it to a break and let's get out of here.
Okay, welcome back with us, where the VC is going to get a little bit loud in a second. We have everyone from Muni's delivery service delivering a win through to us and delivering us a brilliant interview. How are you guys doing?
Go on,
Ken.
Very good. Very good.
Muni, first of all.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
We're going to go
Go
through
for it, Ken.
some questions in a second, but I know not Ken has something to say first, so we'll let you have
All
the
right.
floor.
Okay, can I say something? I've been having crazy anxiety all week because my PC was exploding on me. Every fucking scrim. Oh, can I swear? Every scrim.
Yeah, you can.
Like every match, it was just like it would just shut down mid thing. And it literally happened again today. I was trying to fix it. I couldn't figure it out. I just had to borrow my brother's setup. I'm on a completely different setup. I'm in the most uncomfortable position ever. And holy crap, we did it. GG's.
Good job. Good job. Well played, Ken.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to go down the line here in order of these guys in the Discord call. So, Empty, you are up first. And I mean, how does it feel to be the winners of this stage, just first and foremost?
It was amazing. I can't lie. I love my team. My team's amazing. Everyone is genuinely the most fun players I've had. Like everyone's super nice, super friendly. Moon is one of the nicest people I've ever met. Everyone on the team is amazing. Thank you for picking up a guy who can fit in Lucio bands because I'm homeless off of Lucio. But my team just Thanos. My team was just Thanos. Like, what can I do? It was a fun series.
W Glaze, good job, MT. Good job, man. Love that for you. My UCF duo, how do we feel? You had to take down Data Ball for the ring, but how did you feel going in? Because you guys beat them in the upper finals, right?
Yes.
3-1, and then obviously this one goes 7. So like, are you sweating game 7, or like, how are you feeling?
Hard sweating, hard comms. We had to put the 2 yappers into closers. Holy. How about you, Chope?
Dude, all I'm gonna say, hashtag hop in the barrel.
Hop in the
Hop in
barrel.
the
That's all I got to say on the matter.
Bro,
Yeah, that's
UCF
true.
Overwatch on top. Orlando just does it better. Is what it is what it is.
Truth.
Game 7 Cobalt hitting a little bit different, but as well, we saw some star plays from Doors over this matchup. We've said a little bit how you were a little bit of a cheap pickup for the amount of impact you were able to have for this team in the grand finals. Especially, I want to know how exactly you were feeling after that final hold on Kings Row, that second map of that day, the 5 kills off of that annihilation to hold that full hold. How did that feel in the moment?
That was nuts, man.
I was like, my team is like hard yelling at me to just live, and I'm like, no, they're just like, just live, try and live, come back, we come back fast. I'm like, no, I got this, don't worry, it's all good.
Rose said, "I got this." Yeah. Sorry, go on.
There you go.
No, go on. It's your moment, bro. You have it.
Thank you, Moon, for like trusting me again. This is my 3rd KL ring. I'm an odd-numbered season merchant. Moon is one of the best captains I've ever worked with. Everyone on this team is so handsome, so talented, so attractive. I love them all. Just thank you guys.
Moon, real quick, like, do you think people are actually gonna bid on your players and not let you just like fleece the market for trades next KL, or no thoughts?
I mean, part of it is just, I picked up a lot of undervalued players this season, I think.
Yeah, you
I think
did, yeah.
Dawes is constantly one of the most disrespected and undervalued tanks in the league. Empty, Empty, I think is, a bit of a Luca one trick these days, but still a new player, quite undervalued.
Yeah.
I obviously had to pick them up for a bit more than I would have wanted. Let's see. Muni.
You get Cobalt.
I have to shout out Muni. This guy battled availability through the entire season. He's such a good player, and just literally just like no complaint at all if he has to sit on the bench at all. Muni is such a lovely guy. So happy that I could have made this season with him. Then I also would have cut Pearl and Lazar, I suppose. Obviously, we're originally in the draft, but obviously traded them on and brought in Ken and Cobalt off the back of it. And I mean, again, it's just two really undervalued players, I think. Ken, obviously still quite new, but I mean, look like a demon. And I mean, as you guys will call, I mean, he's just such a good player. And then Cobalt, I mean, like, you look at band, this guy plays anything you want. Literally one of the best IGLs in the league as well, I think. Literally won't cut up. Will rage bait you a bit, but yeah. And then obviously, we got Mina off a backfill as well. This season wouldn't have been possible without Mina. I think Mina has been, without a doubt, one of our most vital pieces.
Who dropped for Mina?
We got Keed off for Keed because of the big wave.
Oh yeah, because Keed got shot in the head. Yeah,
Mina obviously came off a BPL 7 season where nobody really paid attention to her or her team. Very, very underrated player. So yeah, shout out to Mina as well. And then Twist as well. My draft plan going in was, look, I would take whoever I can on Hitscan because I had a very specific draft plan in mind, and obviously I didn't get it in the end, but the one thing that didn't change for my draft plan was wanting to get a cheap Hitscan, and for the price I paid for Twist, I mean, it didn't really hurt in the last game, unfortunately, Twist. My bad. But
it's all good.
Twist has been such a vital piece of this team as well. I think just probably the most underrated player on this team. Most recent to lift had him low. I had him low in mind to start with as well. But yeah, I think I brought together a bunch of just really underrated players, and once again, EU Overwatch is on top. Just dropped EU lol.
Truth nuke. I think truthfully, like, one of the cooler stories is like in the finals, for example. I am going to sort of make a small joke at Cobalt's expense, and I'm sorry, but like, I think it shows the depth of, you don't just have to draft 5 demons and two 1K players. Just like Cobalt, that whole series is basically Tyrese Halliburton at the Olympics, right? But then he comes in Game 7 and like plays the Wu Yang, has actually more damage than Twist to spare his blushes.
Probably was. I was playing this.
You did, yeah. You had damage Twist, yeah.
Dude, last map was not fun.
On Wu Yang, anyway. Yeah, Twist was struggling, but I think that's more credit to how well Ronan was doing as opposed to you underperforming. Twist.
I love Twizzy. Twizzy's been going crazy all season, carrying my
think
ass.
They found out the code of just shutting me down makes it easier for them. I don't know, because last game I had free reign of the whole map and I played lobby admin. And then they changed their mind going into this. So it's not my fault.
You were 5-man looked at there. They did go Farah and a hit stand to just permanently force your eyes in different directions.
That's true.
That's tough. I just, if anyone wants to give a shout out to the LeDucks people before we wrap up for the season and look towards BPL 8.
Shout out to everybody in this tournament, because without them, this wouldn't even exist in the first place. So the fact that people are putting their time and effort into playing, scrimming, getting these matches set up, and all 3 divisions, like, shout out to everybody just involved in this, including the people behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Can I say something about LeDucks?
Yeah, that's huge. Shut up, Data. Let's go.
Can I go first quickly? I just want to say,
my bad.
Yeah, this was a season where not a lot of people were scrimming. There was like barely any scrims. A lot of literally this entire season, like, we had, I can count the amount of times we scrimmed a team that wasn't LeDucks on one hand. You know, we scrimmed LeDucks.
You can count the amount of teams we scrimmed on one hand.
Yeah, we basically only scrimmed LeDucks for the entire season, because they were literally the only team ever looking for scrims. But I also I didn't give a shout out for the team coaching staff quickly, but Friday and Yuki helped a lot during the a lot during the season. And also, I want to give a shout out to KL staff for running the event. Shout out Para, obviously Pufa, Gabe, Tyler, Silvertools.
Maybe not that Tyler guy.
Yeah.
If you're hearing this, ping Tyler.
Yeah.
Ooh, everyone ping
And
Tyler right
also,
now. Whatever you're doing, put your hand in the register. Ping Tyler.
and then also, shout out
I'll do
to Luau for prodding this. Shout out Jake and Avalanche for casting. Shout out Shirley for the prod, the legal having. And also shout out Freddy for the prod game earlier in the season as well.
Shout out
yeah.
anyone who has done anything involved with KL in every capacity.
Yeah.
I love you all. You're all awesome people. Shout out to LeDucks for making this just such an incredible finals.
That was a fire finals. I wish I like selfishly, I wish I was in my apartment and like wasn't like I'd take such a time away because that was a fire game. Like Doors hits a 5k, like literally 1v4, and I'm like, yo, because I can't be any louder. So I didn't want to ruin his clip though, man. Like that was a fire highlight. But
Absolutely.
hell of a finals, guys. Anyone in chat still watching? Deadlock tournament sign up still open. Please go sign up. Thank you.
Have you plugged?
Check the BPL announcements. We need people for the Deadlock
I
tournament.
think that might be all from the MDS collective, unless anyone else has anything else to say. And we will
I
let
love
you
Kitsune
guys.
League.
We will let you guys. We will let you guys close off the show.
Yeah, we're good, I
The
think, right?
MVP award. We let you
Yeah.
you can let you guys say that.
Oh,
We-
yeah.
We've got an MVP to give out, and I think collectively it's been chosen. Not Ken is just Ken. Anywhere else, he would
He is
be a
Kenough.
10, but he is Kenough in all of our hearts and our MVP for this final. So, congratulations to Not Ken, and once again, congratulations to all of you guys for winning out this tournament. Muni's delivery service, everyone. Big round of applause.
GG's. Thank you so much. Oh my god. Dude, I'm the
Demon.
soat.
He's the
I actually
soat,
am the
he's
soat, bro. I'm
roat,
actually the
he's
soat.
the pote.
Bro, I'm the silly hero specialist, man. Put a tank player on the silly heroes, it's just free low.
Listen, guys, Twisted Minds, and Alcads wrote the script 8 months ago. You get a sim
Bro.
player in the time chamber, you just
Actually
become
true.
a better
Actually
team.
true.
If you looked at EU Overwatch, you'd realize it's the best in the fucking world.
Dude, I've been saying
Not
Sim is the truth
biased.
since 2021. Legit. Like ever since Dallas Fuel like popped up that random like Sam Ryan stuff. That shit was so fun. GG's everyone.
Is it like?
Thank you for
is it like
giving
one
me
of-
MVP.
Oh, hang on. I have just two more shout outs I think I want to give. Shout out to Duckdale and Alfred for helping us stream this entire week. We've been streaming
Yuki.
basically entirely.
And Yuki.
And Yuki Agra as well. And Friday. These guys have been helping us stream internally all week.
Nice.
Yeah, we literally couldn't have done it without them.
Perfect. Well, we're getting to 4 a.m. So
Yeah, you
Yeah,
people
let's,
go to
we're
we're
bed.
gonna let you
Goddamn.
guys go and celebrate. The ones of you
I'm
that are
nervous.
gonna stay awake for a little bit longer as we are working the graveyard shift here. But once again, thank you guys, Muni's delivery service. Go and enjoy that win that you've been able to pull off. A
Oh,
great
we're doing
series versus LeDucks Eternal. But once again, congratulations, guys.
We're doing
Thank
the
you, Tim.
graveyard shift as well. Moon is the European jailer.
yeah, true.
It's free.
Bro,
It's
we
free
go in.
using this BT.
We all go into the
More than
strip
that.
club like James Harden, bro. On God, we all go in.
Right.
I'm going to Ocean right now.
Once again, thank you guys for the prod. We will leave you now. Bye bye.
Yeah,
Alright,
congratulations, guys. Go
See
and
you later.
enjoy that
See you
win.
later,
But
boys.
as we go forwards, we're going to take a quick look back at the bracket to see how this entire affair has gone over. You can see Muni's delivery service
don't have
staying
10
in
pence.
the upper bracket the entire time that they were able to, taking down the Wonder Plane. First the Nines, the Wonder Plane, LeDucks Eternal in that upper finals, and then the
And then
rematch
LeDucks
again, losing that first map, but being able to break serve in game 7. It is inevitable. Muni's delivery service able to deliver themselves the win. Absolute congratulations. Commiserations to the LeDucks Eternal. Put up an amazing fight here, having gone through. But any last words that you want to have, Jace, before we head off?
No, the upper bracket run is way harder than you think it is because there's so little games in these seasons. That lower bracket gives teams confidence. It gives teams time to review VOD, and sometimes it can even warm them up because sometimes you can even play the lower finals before the grand finals, which can give teams like a little bit of a warm up. But congrats to Muni's delivery service for proving that they were the best in the upper and staying the best in the grand finals. There was no safety net for the one that really needed to be. And it's hard to play a 7-map series and remain as locked in as they did, especially on the variants. That's probably one of the better teams I've seen in KL overall. That's probably one of the better finals I've seen in terms of BPL and KL overall. That one was a heater. Thank you, Avalanche, for hopping all the way across the pond from the UK collegiate scene to Cass's grand finals. You did an excellent job, man. Thank you, thank you. All right, my old ass is going to go and ride off into the sunset, and hopefully I'll see everyone for BPL 8. Shout out Luau, shout out all the KL people. This league is so cool, and we're in 2026, man, and we're still getting community Overwatch leagues. Like, how fire is that, no? Like, bro, this shit better than this shit got more stakes, this shit more serious, this shit's still better than some of the stuff we're seeing at the pro level. And I think it's because of the people that still have a passion for this game, like almost a decade after it was released. Much love, and yeah, let's get whimsical, let's get fantasical, let's get mythical in BPL 8. All right, see you on the other side. Ciao.